And a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite podcast, the H-Cast, episode number 76. We're steamrolling through these episodes. Hope you're all well on this Thursday evening. For me, good morning for some of my fellow compadres across the world. But I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning in to your favorite podcast. Again, on this, well, what is an evening for me? It's a little bit cold here in the UK. Our autumn is in full force. We've got a fantastic episode of the show for you today. We've got unexpected sequels. Sylvester Stallone, hint, hint. We'll get to that. We've got Snow White, Rachel Zegler claiming the victim for backlash. You know, just the victim card. Why not? Pixar boss blaming Disney. The scapegoat game for their horrendous box office receipts. We've got a little bit on Amber Turd. We've got Godzilla -1, Initial D adaptation. Yeah, it's a bit of a busy one, ladies and gents. So, few things before we get started. This podcast gets heavy demonetization because we don't sugarcoat anything. We like to be open, honest, have a good chit chat, and sometimes it broaches subjects or some of the language used. YouTube doesn't like, especially some of the subjects.
Got Tom on.
And because we've got Tom on, but yeah, we suffer from demonetization here. So if you want to help out the channel, the show itself specifically, then chuck in a buck via the super chat function. The super chat function is for you to join the conversation as well, though. So it's not just merely to support the show. Join in the conversation. It can be about what we're talking, topic wise, and it could be about anything you want us to cover. You have a captive audience here, so it's worthwhile doing. We have memberships on the channel, so please do become a member of the channel as well. Also got Patreon, so check all that linked down below in the description box. Also, side note, this podcast has its own second channel where all the clips go up as well as the full stream episodes. I'm often asked, where are the episodes? Because they get unlisted on this channel, my main channel, after the stream ends. They get uploaded a few at a time on the second channel, which you can find linked down below in the description box, and that is Mr. H Reviews Live Archives. Also down below in the description box is everyone else's channel, which I am joined here on the podcast panel. We've got Culture Casino and we've got Nick. How you both doing, chaps? Are you all right?
Doing good. I hate I missed Tuesday. I really wanted to be here for that Tuesday show, but especially after hearing about what you guys covered. Yeah, I'm here today. I'm here today.
Good to have you on here. And how you doing, Culture? You all right? Oh, glitching out there.
As always, I'm extraordinary, but I'm glitching because I'm doing like 14 things video-wise right now. But no, everything's great. So, yeah.
And we can see Nick is in Final Fantasy land there, I think. Isn't that Final Fantasy background? Yeah, there you go. There's my memory working right.
Yep, Midgar. All the Star Wars stuff is gone. I'm done. I'm done.
The hell stuff. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, well, ladies and gents, like I said, we've got a great episode for you today. Some funny stuff to cover. So I think what we'll cover first, ladies and gents. No, TT.
I'm surprised he's even coming back. I'm surprised Hemsworth is even coming back.
Look, I don't know. This is a piece of news that just dropped before we were going. So technically, we could have used this. Obviously, this is what we're doing. So I don't really understand what's going on here. So Thor 5 is reportedly in development at Marvel Studios without Taika Waititi. That's not really a surprise because that guy is poo-poo.
Yep.
Massive poo-poo. So here we have it, right? Here's the statement. Thor updates. Thor 5 is officially in development at Marvel Studios. Marvel is currently searching for a new director to helm the film, meaning Taika Waititi will not return. And the source is Daniel RPK. Now, Daniel RPK's track record, Not horrendous, not, unquestionable either, though. Some of it is a little bit in question here and there. But as you said, Nick, I'm really surprised that Chris Hemsworth is even entertaining coming back, because he seemed pretty, I don't know, resolute on not returning. And I can't help but wonder if this is true. Let's take this as rumor at this point in time, ladies and gents, because it is. If this is true, is he not simply doing this because he's been, I don't know, given a bucket load of money? Because that's undoubtedly what he would have needed to have been given, I guess, to even consider this. But also, where do you go now? Because they've neutered him by giving him a child.
Yeah, I don't really know what the game plan is story wise moving forward with this character. But from last I heard, he said he's not coming back and playing this character until they change his character back to what the original vision of the character was. If you go watch the first Thor movie and then go watch the last Thor movie, it's two totally different Thors. They're not the same character. Now Thor now in the MCU is the funny bumbling idiot Thor. When originally, that's not Thor from the comics, and that's not Thor from the first movie. So I know he's not happy about the way they've changed the character. So unless they just offered him a crap ton of money to just be like, look, we're writing the character how we want to write it. Here's what we're willing to pay you to come and portray the character again. If it's that much money, he might be like, screw it for that. Yeah, I'll freaking dance in a tutu if you want me to. But yeah, story wise, I don't know where they go from here. Are they going to tie him in with the Marvels or Thunderbolts or whatever other crap they got coming out? Like, who cares at this point?
Well, but Nick, wasn't part of his complaints TT himself?
Well, yeah, that was part of the problem, because he was part of the reason why his character changed so much.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like this whack titty dude.
Yeah.
So I feel like that probably was a bigger stumbling block for him, because he was the source of the changes to the character. So I'm with you. I mean, that was my understanding. He wasn't going to come back to this, which really meant that, there wasn't a lot of reason to come back to Marvel at all. I mean, there was he was one of the last remaining things there. I mean, they killed off the two best characters that that they had, despite the fact that one of the guys playing those characters is a tool bag. But the idea that Thor was going to be the last one standing, that wasn't great. And to be fair, I would have loved to have seen the adventures of Thor and Rocket Raccoon, or and any of the other things that they could have done with Thor. But the tone of Thor, was great in the first film, terrible in the second film. That was, and then Ragnarok was a departure, but a welcome one. The problem is they lean too heavily into it.
Well, they kept doing the same character arc over and over again. I mean, the first film was him trying to, realize that he's worthy, and all this kind of stuff, becoming a hero, and then it's like, oh, he's got to become a hero again. He's got to figure out he's worthy. Again. Oh, he's having a midlife crisis again. Like, Jesus, come on. I think this is a symptom of, if this is true, right? If this is true, I think this is a symptom of Marvel, because this is out of nowhere. This is out of nowhere, right? You think, and bear in mind, if this is true, they're obviously going to announce this at a pretty big event, but this is still out of nowhere. It's not though when you start to look at how they're going. So this is a symptom of Marvel realizing they're up shit's creek. They've got nothing that people actually care about. Nothing. People don't care. They're not interested. So they're scrabbling. They're like, holy shit, what do we do? What can we have? What can we put in line here that will be remotely entertaining for people to watch? Thor, we haven't killed him off yet, so we'll just have him, I guess. That's my 2 cents worth on it, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, who cares? literally, about what this characters or anything in the MCU. Like, I've lost all interest. I was really looking forward to this next phase and what they were doing, but after seeing all the crap they're putting out there, yeah.
Culture looked very distressed that you seem
I'm
excited.
looking forward to what? Like,
you're looking forward to stuff. No, you
yeah,
can't be looking forward to stuff.
Well, I was at the end of Endgame. You know, I was like,
that's
I was
different.
like, oh, I'm. Let's see what happens next. That sucks that Cap and Iron Man's gone, but I was on board to see where they were going. You know, and it's just been a disappointment after disappointment. And Nerdrotic called it early. He said, "This is going to turn into the MCU."
I mean, I'm sorry. The minute you saw the A-Force ladies coming together, you know, at the end of Endgame, I knew we were effed. But you know, that was 100% borne out, and then everything that came out, all the things that each of us learned along the way from people that we know, you know, it proved to be true. We were constantly looking out at, you know, the not so gentle conversion of all of these properties into female, you know, the Force is female all over again.
Yeah.
You know, look at the results of the Force is female. You get Ahsoka. You get Mandalorian. You get, you know,
Rings of Power.
You're about to get, you know, felonies, you know, terrible Star Wars movie. Although I don't think they're going to make that. There's no public will for it, but we'll see.
Especially after the numbers and stuff have come out, and Disney's probably known the numbers since before they ever even came out.
They've known that they've been tanking their properties, which is, you know, the whole reason why they're having everything happen. But look, Thor's one of the last characters in the bank, right? He is. He's one of the last. You were 100% right, Nick. He's one of the last characters they have in the bank, and they've got. I mean, as Mr. H said, you only have one thing left. Try not to screw it up. And man, they can't help themselves with Thor just because he's a strong and he's a god. He's literally a god, and you guys treat him poorly. So,
yeah. Well, you know, I think it'll be fascinating to watch this watch it unfold and see what does actually happen, whether this is true or not. Do we think this is true, or what are we thinking? Not putting any weight behind it.
The only reason I question it is because of Hemsworth's comments and statements in the past about how he was basically done with this character.
Oh yeah, he firmly said he was done.
Yeah.
Firmly.
So that's the only reason I question it. You know, it might be in development, and then once they get it kind of developed and know what they're doing, then present it to him, and maybe he's like, all right, I'll come back and do another one. You know, if the price is right, the story's right. Maybe they spend all this time and money in development, and then he says, F that and F you guys. And then they're like, because of conflicting schedules, we've decided to shelve Thor 5 for now. We'll revisit it later. You know, they'll do some spin crap on it, and it will never happen. You know.
Yeah. Culture over or under likelihood of it happening.
Right now I'm 50-50 on it. I'm with you guys. I mean, he was pretty declarative that he was done. I mean, I didn't think he left any wiggle room there, with the exception of saying, you know, if they were to, you know, return him to the, you know, to the character he was going to be, then I'm all for it. But see, again, that's a condition that I don't think Disney's ready to meet yet, despite all of their protestations and saying that they were going to be flipping Marvel, you know, back in the right direction. I mean, obviously they've pulled the plug on everything they had running in the background and pre-production, production, and all of that. Then they you know, they're redoing Daredevil. So if they really have learned their lesson, which again, press X to doubt, then I still think it's 50-50 though. I think you're going to have to impress Chris Hemsworth, even though he's Australian and they don't pay those actors quite as much as the American guys.
Well, he'd have to be now because he's how many movies deep? It's quite a lot of films, a lot of appearances. He's racking up that contract after contract after contract.
Isn't he in half of the actual Marvel films? I mean,
so he would be getting paid quite a tidy sum by now.
Yep,
quite a tidy sum. Just with how they all work. So,
you know, if the barrier is the salary to having actors back to do these things, and that's why they pulled the plug on Downey Jr. because he was so expensive. That's just dumb reasoning. It's dumb
such
reasoning.
a unique deal, didn't he? Though it's slightly
Well,
different that deal.
they had to because of his. He was a risk for them at the time. Paramount was pulling. Paramount and Marvel were pulling a huge risk on that one. So
yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. It'll be fascinating to see this unfold. We do have Wokel has become a member, so thank you so much, my dude. Really do appreciate that. Memberships go a long way, guys. We've got a brand new member of the show, numero 1. We'll get numero 2 members joining during this podcast. We also have Tiger Valley 62 sending in 35 South African rand, I believe. Disagree. Waititi is not poo-poo, just in the wrong genre in the wrong time. In the old days, he would have been a brilliant slapstick filmmaker. The thing is, right, like, I actually quite like some of Taika Waititi's films.
Yeah,
I think he's begun to smell his own farts a bit too much, and he's drunk his own
Jojo Rabbit was a really well done film.
Very unique.
Yeah.
And What We Do in the Shadows, good movie. You know, he's done a lot of decent films.
Speaking of being in the shadows.
Yeah. Andre's here.
Yeah.
Hey, greetings, everyone.
What's up, Andre?
Nice to have you on, dude.
Yeah, no, just busy as usual.
Good. Well, we got a super chat here from Olaf Van S for €6. Says, boys play with toys. They want to be like the toy. Girls play with toys. The toys need to be like them. See what female-led productions have given us.
Yeah.
Yes. And Olaf Van S is a fantastic moderator here, wrenching in the chat. So big up to Olaf.
He's behind the scenes making things work.
Yep.
He is indeed. So I think what we'll do, because we've only got you for a short amount of time, Andre, we're going to pick and choose on.
Unfortunately, I only have so much time today.
That's good. You're going to like this next one.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So Snow White, Rachel Zegler, is playing the victim, claims she only received backlash for being outspoken. I mean, well, yeah, outspokenly repugnant.
Yeah.
Yes. But not just because you're outspoken. It's the things you're saying and the fact that you don't learn and you're a bit of a poo-poo face. I mean, it's pretty obvious that these things are not difficult.
The dumb shit she's saying, for sure.
There's a tremendous irony to that, though, because when someone is outspoken, but in a manner that she doesn't like, she's the first to go on the cancel train.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But she did it with Gina Carano, didn't she? Famously.
Yeah. And Jeremy Renner.
And all this other crap. So awful human being. So let's take a look at this, right? Bear in mind, the chickens are coming home to roost with this one because she's already been fired from Paddington. Now, obviously, she's not going to be fired from the Hunger Games. That's coming out shortly. But my God, that film is going to bomb. Oof. So Rachel Zegler, who plays Lucy Gray Baird in the upcoming The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, recently addressed the backlash she's received for her comments about Snow White, as well as her defamation of actors Jeremy Renner and Gina Carano. So, the Wrap listed Zegler as one of their trailblazers for their Latino Power List 2023.
Latino.
Jenna Ortega better be on there. As part of her entry, Zegler informed the outlet, "It's an honor," a quote, "it's an honor to be recognized in a way that both celebrates our heritage and lifts up the contributions we all make to this industry, where it can be particularly hard for us to be seen and heard in a meaningful way." Fucking everyone hears you, you repugnant arsehole. "I still don't think I'm quite ready for the life I already have, despite being extremely grateful for it and for every opportunity that it has brought me." To young Latino performers coming up in the industry, I would tell them to know their worth and to make sure they're loud about having seats at the table they deserve to be at. Kind of like that time she bitched and moaned that she wasn't invited to the fucking Oscars and then got an invite like a total petulant child. I have learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard and to prepare for the backlash that occasionally comes with that outspokenness. I mean, That's one way of putting it. Fearless and loud. You are loud. I wouldn't say fearless. I'd say ignorant and stupid. Probably. I'd say that more specifically. So this is her kind of first time addressing Backlash. I mean, it's by proxy, you know. She's being, awarded a trailblazer, Latino trailblazer. And so she's used this as a sort of a gateway to comment on this, I guess. But I mean, fearless and loud. You know, be loud about having seats at the table because you know you deserve to be at them and you wouldn't have them otherwise. Be loud, prepare for backlash. I mean, what is this utter drivel? This is a woman that will never learn her lesson. It's not the fact that she's a woman; it's just a person that will never learn her lesson.
Not only that, she is trying to impart her philosophy onto other young starlets of Latina persuasion. And the lesson she's trying to help them is basically be a narcissist, be loud, scream, be judgmental, be a total commie, and be entitled as hell.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works. Let's. I mean, I can think of someone else that had that old. Well, I'm just going to say that took her lessons to heart because it already happened. But that chick from Cowboy Bebop, I've already forgotten her name. The one with all the crevices, who was never heard from again.
Yeah.
I don't know how good this advice is.
Terrible advice.
It is awful advice, Nick.
So I'm so sick and tired of her calling herself Latina and stuff. Her grandmother immigrated from Colombia. Her mom is American. Her dad is from Polish descent. She was born in New Jersey, named after Rachel from the show Friends. She is American with a grandmother that immigrated from Colombia, and a father who's European, and his whole side of the family is European. So she's just an American. Like I'm so sick and tired of hearing all this. Oh, I'm Latina and all this when you're not really Latina at all. Literally, Latinas are coming out and calling her out. As far as the advice stuff, yeah, she's getting horrible advice. She's an idiot, and she's gonna learn a hard lesson, a hard lesson.
Come on, Culture. I know you want to jump in there now. You ready, bro?
She's one of the many problems that Hollywood have. She's the personification of everything that Nick and Andre describe. Just an incredibly self-involved human, narcissistic, you name it. Most of these people have end up suffering from borderline personality disorder, amongst other things. So you have you have people who may have an intellect in a way, but it's all superseded by their ego. So her mouth will always be unchecked. She's reached an age now. She's 22. She's reached an age now where she's going to start to harden all of everything from her opinion down to her personality traits and everything else. Once she's hardened that all off at 24 to 26, she's done. And the industry knows it so much so that, she's fallen out of favor. She was on, that list of people. We're going to push this person because they check all these boxes and, they have the ability to perform. Well, not one of her things that she's ever put out into the world has been profitable. We're about to watch $100 million Hunger Games prequel.
We don't know the budget, do we? Actually, that's the thing.
It's over $100 million. So, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're about to watch $100 million budget production plus make its way into theaters, and its entire lifetime here domestically could be governed up at maybe 140 million. I don't think that's the case. I think the long range forecasting on it is baloney sausage.
Massive manipulation.
I can't imagine its first weekend falling within the range of the $35 to $45 million that they project. I mean,
I'm actually looking forward to this weekend with great anticipation.
Oh, do you guys get it there? Go ahead.
Because this movie marks something relatively new that we haven't really seen before. Like, is this a prequel or a remake? I'm not entirely sure.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel, okay.
Yeah.
Because the Hunger Games, the original Hunger Games, it came out, 10 years ago, 15 or something like that? I don't recall exactly.
J-Law, Jennifer Lawrence, baby.
That I know. I know it was with her, but like as you get older, the years blend together, and I can't really say if it came out in 2017 or 2012, I couldn't tell you, right? But anyway, point is that this movie came out, I'm sure, at least a decade ago or thereabouts. Yeah. And it was a young adult movie. So it targeted like girls who were in their tweens at the time, first and foremost. Many tween boys went as well. It was all of those movies were massive, massive hits. They were loved by their built-in audience. That built-in audience are now in their mid to late 20s. Some may be in their early 30s. I'm curious how many of those that loved that movie are going to return to it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to do this or it's going to do that, because this is an audience that we don't really know. Like, this is generation narcissism. How are they going to respond to basically a new installment of their favorite franchise? Will nostalgia kick in? Will they be back for it, or they're completely over it and now regard all young adult stuff as to drivel it always was? I'm genuinely curious to see how that is going to play out. I don't think that this movie is going to attract anyone much older than the target audience, but if those that saw the movie 10 or whatever years ago will come back out of some misplaced nostalgia or something, this can be fairly decent. I'm not going to say, again, I won't say that you're wrong, Culture. You're probably right, but I'd be very interested to see how this performs, because it represents an audience experiment we have never quite seen before.
I think we have to a degree, right? Like, you look at Harry Potter franchise, they periodically made films over and over and over again. Slightly different.
Because they never stopped. I mean, you have generations that grew up with that. That's part of like their life and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hunger Games was a fad for a couple of years.
No. We have seen this. Wait, we have seen this.
Have we?
We have seen this, and it was with fucking Star Wars, and it was
I was just getting ready to say that.
It was.
I was just getting ready to say that.
I don't know. That's a different kind of audience. I'm talking very specifically.
Growing up,
the young adult thing.
Maybe
that's what I mean. Yeah, we have seen plenty other franchises that come back like 10 years later, but they were genuine franchises, if you will. Whereas this is young adult drivel. I'm genuinely curious to see how that is going to hold up, and I won't pretend to have any answers to that. But I think it could surprise us in either direction. Exactly what Culture is saying.
You may be right. It's possible it could. And in the world we exist in right now, where emotional maturity, it does not change, apparently. As you get older with a lot of people now, it's quite possible that all of these young girls are still, turning into their 30s and 40s and are still at that emotional
14 in their heads. I mean, what has TikTok done? Like, it's a whole generation of arrested development. They were 14 when those movies came out, and now they're 14-year-old, 30-year-olds.
Yeah. I think that's a real possibility, but like, it remains to be seen. That the next question is this a culturally relevant franchise? Has it stayed in the public zeitgeist for a decade?
No,
I don't think it has. I mean, the first film with Jennifer Lawrence was intriguing to me. The second film was losing my interest quickly. And again, it wasn't made for me. These are young adult novels turned into, cinema.
Yeah.
But
and the young adult matters. I was a fad for a limited time frame there. Yeah.
But the thing about the original Hunger Games and now this one as well, right? So that's what sort of catapulted Jennifer Lawrence to stardom, right? She then fell out of favor with the public because most people realize she's a bit of a bit of a douche canoe as well.
Then and now sex tapes stuff came out.
Yeah, and now it's being rebooted, prequeled, the franchise by another person that isn't well liked in the public domain.
That's true.
It'll be truly fascinating to see how this goes down, but I don't think it's going to go down that well.
I don't. Like I said, I'm going to stick with my original prediction. I'm going to think this is going to lose money. Lionsgate's going to live up to the reputation that Andre firmly, ensconced it within, which is a bomb factory.
Yep.
And
yeah.
So
yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. There you go. I thought you'd enjoy that one, Andre, mate. As you can't stay too long. How long do we have you for now? From now,
45 minutes.
Excellent.
Oh, that's not a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Well,
you made it out like you're going to be like
2 hours
in like 10 minutes. Fucking hell, right?
Yeah, okay. I was worried.
Maybe it could have been more specific.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've had some fantastic super chats that have come through.
Yeah.
I will just say this as well. Please do hit that thumbs up button on the stream. We don't have too many likes here. It's not to help the video out. It's to help you guys get notified that your favorite podcast is currently live. We've got 500 people tuning in to their favorite podcast right now, but we don't even have 200 likes. So can we please bump up that thumbs up button? Slap it around, smash it down, give it a good old tap like you would that ass.
I would prefer that you lovingly lick the like button.
You didn't even hear what I said. You weren't even listening.
God, what did you say?
I said you want to give the thumbs up button a tap like you would that ass.
Oh, okay, all right. I guess we're back to
say again. God.
I guess we're back to the anus horribilis again.
We are back to horrible and good anuses. So anyway, ladies and gents, hit that thumbs up button whilst we fall into depravity here. That was another thing you missed, Nick. We were talking about anuses briefly.
I'm glad I was tied up with work Tuesday then.
As I pointed out, like we've all done 69, so yeah.
Andre getting graphic there. Right, anyway, ladies and gents, you want to join in the conversation. Super chats are the way to do that. But I also have just had word from Tom. He's on his way. He messaged and says, "I'm late, aren't I?" I'm like, "Yes, you are. Very late." What's going on? Oh dear, dear. But we just had a super chat drop in, and it is from Andrew SD for £4.99. So a fellow Brit. It says, pleasant good evening to you, Mr. H, and the respective panelists. With the announcement of the new direction of Bond, is franchise officially dead? Well, what this is the announcement, confirmation, should we say, that they are planning to evolve Bond for the modern era. Bond should reflect the modern era. Men are evolving, and thus Bond is evolving.
Men are not evolving.
It's utter diatribe and should be treated as such. I was going to cover this. I can't remember when it dropped, but we were going to do this as a segment. But hey, look, Andrew, we're now going to talk about it because you chose to do it as a super chat. So what do we think about this utter codswallop that is Bond evolving for the modern era? I feel like I've got to announce it that way. What do we think?
FD Studios and their modern era audience filmmaking. That's what I say. Anybody that grew up in the 70s and 80s with freaking Charles Bronson, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Clint Eastwood, those are men's men right there. Alpha males, action heroes. Now you got these beta cucks out there all over the place, which is probably what they're going to turn James Bond into, because too much testosterone is just not good for the world nowadays for some reason. F beta male James Bond, if that's what they're turning him into.
Of course it is. Undoubtedly it is.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly it is.
Nobody is going to go see this. This modern audience they're talking about won't even go see this.
No,
the modern audience isn't a consumer. They don't give a shit.
No,
they don't go out to watch movies.
Yeah,
the modern audience are a bunch of Rachel Zeglers.
Yeah.
Wow, that is There is no the funniest thing that I hear about with that terminology is that they make an assumption that there is an audience outside of which they don't have. They have an audience in a given area, and they're telling us that they don't have a wider that they need this little segment of the audience to add to it. It's never an additive. Right? You are making something that's broadly appealing to the masses. Stick with that. You're going to be far better off.
Yep.
And they I don't know. I've never been able to explain this, and I have tried why you would go after one of the smallest segments of the population, expecting it to make a difference for you. And you know what? Barbara Broccoli, if her dad were still alive, this is not shit she'd be pulling, you know?
He'd be so pissed. So this is the interview that Andrew was referring to with The Guardian, of all shit rags.
Okay.
Broccoli informed the outlet that there are plans for the character to be reinvented for the next chapter, albeit she and other executives haven't even begun that process yet. The Guardian's Tara Conlon added she added that the next film would have to reflect the way the world has changed in the 2 decades since Craig was confirmed as the 6th 007. Pointed out that Bond has often been reinvented, and now this is the crux of it, right? So Bond as an archetype in terms of how that character is represented on screen has been reinvented, but not in the way that they're trying to frame that they're going to do it now. So, you know, you've had subtle variations between the Bonds, but who Bond is at his core has always been the same. He's been a womanizer. It's a bit of fun. It's always interesting. Who's he going to fuck? You know, who's going on here? Who's the Bond girl? Ooh, who's going to turn him down and slap him? Who's he going to bone at the end? It's part of it, right? He sort of sidles up to people. He's a drinker. He's this. He's a man that gallops around the world with a license to kill, for goodness sake. So those things have always remained the same, but there's been some subtle variations between the character, how he fights, whether he's using, you know, a sort of a plethora of the gadgets that he's known for. But reinventing him in terms of what they mean is changing his characterization, which would be like having Bond without fucking gadgets. It's not Bond.
And moving forward, instead of, you know, who's the next Bond girl, it's going to be like, who's the next non-binary co-star for Bond? You know, it's going to be some weird. It's going to be some weird shit like that. Yeah.
So she says this. I go back to GoldenEye when everyone was saying the Cold War is over, the wall is over, Bond is dead, no need for Bond. The whole world's at peace, and now there's no villains. And boy, was that wrong. Yes. That's got nothing to do with what you actually mean, though, does it? At all.
Yeah, he's still the same character.
Again, here, modernization is necessary whenever a new actor plays the part. No, it isn't.
No,
it's really not. Unbelievable. Andre, we've not heard from you, I don't think, have we?
Well, no, not really. I think it's just frustrating because you can't do James Bond in this day and age. James Bond for modern audiences. Basically, you're saying right away, oh, you want to tank James Bond. I mean, you might as well hire Rachel Zegler for the part right away. The only way that you can do James Bond right, I think, is to do a period piece. Because just look at law enforcement across the Western world. It's been pussified beyond belief. I mean, just look at that chick, the one who is going viral again because she lost it with like demonstrators and stuff like that. That's a modern day police for you. There was a time not too many decades ago when the police, law enforcement, military, everything were big, strong, tough men. This is the same for criminals as well, come to think of it. They could dish it out, and they could take it, because it was a different world. It was the same thing with like special operatives and stuff. They also could dish it out, they could take it. They were inconspicuous, but they were hard as nails, right? You don't really have that kind of espionage today. I mean, it's all electronic. I mean, like, I'm sure that for the States, for instance, has like some level of assets on the ground around the place. I don't know how long they would last in a physical fight. I don't know how long or how well they would be able to pick up a chick or anything like that, because most of the espionage right now is done by the likes of NSA. It's done by hackers. That's where you get like the intel these days. There's no need to send people behind enemy lines. So like a James Bond for modern audiences, well, basically that's a pussified feminine man, if he's a man at all, with very high estrogen content in his blood, who's going to be very concerned with his pronouns, just like many armies around the Western world are right now, right? So I think you don't do a James Bond because it's a joke. There are no James Bonds anymore. It's all done. I mean, maybe Mossad has a couple of people that could be like that, but beyond that, there's no more James Bonds. So what do? Well, you go back to a time when there actually were James Bonds. You do like do a period piece taking place during the Cold War, when there was no NSA, when you actually had to send in spies on the ground to get intel, and the world ain't like that anymore. And so making a Bond for modern audiences, it's destined to fail for that exact reason. I mean, just look at Daniel Craig's Bond. I mean, he was tough and everything, but he was crying milksop too. And the next one is going to be even more sensitive than him.
I agree. Tom, what do you think about a modern Bond? Reinvented, evolved for a modern audience. What do you think, mate?
Good morning. Sorry I'm late.
That's fine. We're just going to overlook that. It's fine. Keep steamrolling with your opinion, mate. Let's go.
This is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I've said, in fact, the opposite many times over. Like, you could continue down this road, but why not just take Bond back to where he belongs? Kind of like with Indiana Jones. It's like, why can't they just leave these characters in the era that they represent the best? Makes no sense to try and modernize them.
Very similar opinion to Andre's there, then, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
By the way, the world doesn't work in a way that Bond wouldn't fit into it now. So I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I know men that, you know, still operate the same way. There's a handful of overeducated, you know, lowered testosterone people out there for sure. I mean, those are the ones that they're trying to, you know, soften everything for. But honestly, there are still men's men out there in the world, and you know what? Ladies love them. I'm sorry.
There's some on this podcast right now. You might say.
I'm just saying there might be a few men still. Just saying.
Oh dear. Right. Well, with that being said, Andrew, I think you got your money's worth there, chap, for that £4.99. That's for sure. Gary's dropping in, contributing to this as well for £2. It's like Bond without the alcoholism. Exactly. It's a fundamentally different character. Also, just to say and reiterate, we've got 261 thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button. Tap it like you would dad ass. But also, sadly, ladies and gents, these super chats go a long way because we are currently just demonetized, and it wouldn't be because of Tom, because he only just got it. But yeah, we are demonetized at this point in time. So super chats go a long way. So thank you so much, guys, to everyone who is doing the super chats and joining in the conversation. One such contributor today, a big time contributor here on the podcast, is D with 20 Australian dollar redos, and says the only way I will watch a new Bond movie is if they bring Margaret Thatcher from the dead. as a trans zombie because representation is important. Fucking hell, that'd be a scary ass movie. Black Saber here for $5 says the pen-clicking hacker from GoldenEye, Boris Grushenko, will be the next Bond-type character. Like Andre said, I am invincible. Yeah, you're right, actually. That is I mean, it is that sort of weedy little... Yeah, you're right.
That is Spies Today. That's what they are.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
that is modern-day Bond replacement. I mean, who knew? But from GoldenEye, the character that would, I'm not going to say age the best, but certainly age most appropriately with time, with the passage of time, is that dude.
Yeah. Right, well, guys, let's shuffle on to a pretty interesting topic that I know you yourself, Tom, you're going to like. I know Nick's going to like this as well. Pretty unexpected sequel announcement. Yeah. Samaritan 2 is in the works from Amazon and MGM. This is an exclusive to the Hollywood Reporter. Let's check this out.
It was all part of the plan. I don't know what you're talking about.
So Amazon MGM Studios is going back for Superhero Seconds. The streamer is developing a sequel to Samaritan. It's 2022 action movie starring Sylvester Stallone. And has hired Braggy F. Shute to pen the script. Shute also wrote the first movie, so returning, basically. Stallone is going to be returning as producer, as is his Balboa Productions partner, Braden Aftergood. Stallone is also reprising his role with a deal made prior to the actor's strike. So Samaritan, for those that didn't know, was directed by Julius Avery, told of a young boy who's saved from a beating by a sanitation worker. The boy comes to believe that the older man is a superhero who disappeared 20 years earlier after an epic battle with his arch nemesis. The movie, which premiered exclusively on Prime Video on August 26, 2022, so last year, which is crazy to think now, in more than 240 countries. It's crazy. And territories worldwide, overperformed for the company and was the #1 film on the service for 3 consecutive weeks, according to Amazon. So Shute wrote the first script on spec, and it gathered interest from several production shops before being set up at Balboa and MGM. Shute will act as executive producer along with Adam Rosenberg. If the sequel to Samaritan does take off, it would mark the second original franchise for the scribe. Shute wrote the 2019 thriller Escape Room, which also has a sequel. So Shute also was the writer of The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Less said about that, probably the better from some people, which took a 20-year journey from spec script to the screen and was released by Universal, blah, 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 blah. I'm really excited about this. I like this film. This was good. This was like I don't know. It felt like an old school throwback, but
I loved it. I loved it a lot. It was one of my favorites last year, and you're right. It felt the same way to me, like something out of the 90s, like a movie Sly would have made right after Demolition Man, right? Like right in that same era. And it was brilliant. It was a much better version of the same story that Black Adam told a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
I thought it was much better executed. Sure, there was some stuff near the end where I'm just like, huh? But like, whatever. I didn't care at that point. It had me completely on board. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't remember. Did you see it, Culture? I don't remember if Andre did or not. But
yeah, I thought
I haven't seen it yet. No.
I thought it was very good. Said as much. You and I actually talked about it before. I think it gives you a real insight into what it would be like as a superhero confronted with that. Not to mention the fact that the kid that was in it was brilliant. They did a really good job with the film. So
you know what I really liked about this is the overarching sort of take-home theme of the film is try and be good. Not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's good. But we can be better. Right. Great. Perfect. That's a great message for everyone. No one's perfect, but try and be better. What a great message. What a great wholesome message for anyone to hear. None of this politically motivated garbage, grander, dumb message, notice, all this, schlock-filled shite. Literally just, not everyone's perfect, not everyone, but we try to be better. Because that's, that's what we do day by day. We try to be better. We try to do good things. I really like this film. Nick?
Yeah.
You want to say, bud?
Yeah, I absolutely. So I actually didn't really know anything about this film until I heard Tom talking about it on Midnight's Edge, and I went and checked it out that same night, and I absolutely loved it. I'm excited to see the sequel to this movie. Just like you were saying, this has got just a good positive message all the way around for everybody, and it's just a good, fun popcorn flick. Is it winning any Oscars or anything? No. Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No. But it is a damn good movie from start to finish.
Yeah, and I think you're right, and I think you and Tom are both onto something, because it does feel like a throwback. It really does.
Yeah, it does. 100%.
Yeah. You know, you could line this up with, like, I mean, you know, Tom said Demolition Man. You could line it up with all manner of those movies from Sly's heyday era, and it would just fit in fine. You could do a movie marathon and of all of his classics and put this in there as well.
Yeah.
And it would absolutely marry up fine.
Yep.
You know, it wouldn't be majorly out of place. It would work.
In an alternate universe, he made this movie at the same time instead of Judge Dredd. See, and that's what.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I like this film. It was good. Again, as you say, Nick, is it going to break any records? No. Although apparently, according to Amazon, I mean, it literally was their number one for 3 consecutive weeks, which is pretty impressive. And that's a figure which I'm inclined to believe, because they're paying for a sequel. You know. Whereas, you know, and this is a good thing for Shoot as well, the writer, and the writer basically, because he did the first one on spec, was obviously picked up, and now they've obviously come to him to negotiate, you know, a sort of a sequel deal. He'll be getting paid a substantial amount of money for that, I think, just because the first one was shopped around so much on spec. This one now, being there, unless there was something in the initial deal that he'd, you know, have to write another one, but I doubt it.
No, that's usually not the case. And most of the time, those contracts go one way.
Almost always.
Yeah. Like, they can bring you back, but if they don't want to use you, they don't have to.
Yeah, made versus unmade is the other part of those deals too.
So where do we think this is going to go then? Where do we think
story-wise? I have no idea. I think it'll be interesting to see, though.
Yeah,
because I mean, do we give a spoiler warning for a movie that was out a year ago?
Well, I mean, I think it's new enough that we.
I was going to say, do watch it genuinely for the next 2 minutes. Just mute the microphone, and when I do this, you can unmute it. We're going to talk some spoilers, so mute the microphone. Where do we think it's going to go at the end?
I think the sequel's going to be. I think it's going to have some fun with the kid trying to teach him how to be a superhero, and it'll kind of have a little fish out of water element to it in that respect. Like, he'll do stuff like kind of like a not quite Hancock, but you know what I mean? Like, he'll keep trying to do the right things, but something will piss him off, or he'll do something the way he always used to. And the kid will be like, you can't do that, or whatever, you know, like that kind of stuff. You know, it's like, well, he had a gun. He's like, you still couldn't twist his head off. Well, you had it coming, you know?
Yeah. Well, I would like this to be him going from city to city, because he's left that city seemingly, hasn't he?
Kind of
I'd like to see him. Yeah, I'd like to see him go to a different city and start making a difference elsewhere. I think if they keep it with the same child, I think that'll be they're drawing the universe, they're narrowing the universe, and they don't
probably another reason why they're rushing it. So because he's already going to be like 2 years old by the time they start 2 years older by the time they start shooting.
I think the movie is going to have a very interesting ending, sort of like the first one. I think it's going to end with whatever they end up doing. I think it's going to end with him dying, but it's going to be left open-ended to where he could possibly still be alive. Just so if this one does really good as well, they can do a third and final one. You know?
You know what might happen, Nick? That you just made me think of something. They might have it to where his brother also faked his death.
Oh yeah, that's
and now you have a flip reversal role, and
because he's come back and it's in the press.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and then he comes out of hiding because he's like, "Oh my god, my brother's actually been good."
Yeah, the bad brother ends up staying good, and then the good brother is now the bad guy. You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Could be good. That could be good fun. Anyway,
tons of interesting things that they could do with this.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see what they do with it. I can't wait to hear what Andre thinks of the original because I feel like he might enjoy it.
I think you'll like it.
And I love Sly. Everything he's doing in his older
age
is way better than anything Schwarzenegger's doing in his older age.
Yeah, you're completely right there. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. Samaritan. What a great, lovely, nice, good topic to cover today.
Yeah. If you guys have not seen the original movie, definitely go watch it. It is worth watching 100%.
Well, I hope Amazon releases it on video eventually. It'd be nice.
Yeah, and for people who say we don't actually cover things that we like or talk about things that we like, you have a perfect example right there.
Yeah. Very, very often. And actually, ladies and gents, shuffling on to something else that we like and that is good news. Godzilla -1's getting a UK release day. Oh my god!
Didn't we already know that?
Wow!
No, this is brand new. It's secured. Yeah, well, it was getting a US release. This is getting a UK release. UK.
I thought you already knew it was.
No, it's only just been announced, mate.
They just announced it.
Did I live in the Twilight Zone where we talked about this last week?
No, it's
I swear to God.
No, you can't have. It's only just been confirmed.
Wow, I swore because you're like excited you were going to go see it. I swear to God.
No,
I'm having like a weird deja Gojira voodoo.
Yeah. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, Godzilla -1 is getting a UK and Ireland release. It is also coming to the States as well. It arrives 2 weeks after it gets to you guys in the States, because for you guys it's December 1st. For us, it's December 15th. Yeah, there'll be spoilers online. I think the thing about this film is most people that are fans and want to watch it will simply be interested and going to go watch it to see it on the big screen. Because how often does it happen that you get to watch Godzilla on the big screen again? Like never.
Yeah.
So people will just be excited.
I just
for that.
did not too long ago.
Not just Godzilla, but real Toho Godzilla.
See, now you got to be more specific, like Andre just was. That's the difference.
Sorry. Well, sorry. I knew what I meant, but yes, the real Toho Godzilla, whatever you want to call it, the orig, the OG G-Man.
Japanese flavor,
JDM. I don't really know whether there'll be any other, sort of European releases. This is Anime Company, Anime Limited, or something like that, has managed to secure the UK and Ireland release. Not many theaters though, guys. 200 to 250 locations. So you're going to have to scope it out and see where it's showing. Hopefully, though, if it does very well in those locations, they will broaden it out, because why wouldn't they? That's the thing. Why wouldn't they? And I think Toho's been really smart about this overall, is that they've let Legendary nurture and foster, nourish a westernized sort of hype train for Godzilla with the MonsterVerse films. And then they've just gone, you know what, here you go, here's ours. Enjoy that. Which they haven't been able to do before, not to this degree anyway. So they've been very, very smart. But oh my God, I can't wait. Super looking forward to it. What do we think just overall? Andre, are you planning to be in the UK perhaps in December now?
You know what? Maybe I'll take a trip just for that, because that's the only way I'll be seeing it probably. So yeah, maybe I'll take the flight to the UK for that. Who knows? Could be.
Yeah.
Because as a general thing, I don't like Godzilla, with two exceptions. I respect the original 1984, and I freaking love Shin Gojira. That I think is a masterpiece. And if this one comes from the same company, they know Godzilla, color me excited.
Yeah.
Whereas the American ones, I really don't like. They're not for me.
Oh, they suck. They suck.
No, I
actually prefer the 98 one to any of the new ones.
Oof.
I was not a fan of Fat Godzilla.
Oof.
No, I wasn't a fan of it, but like I thought it was. I mean, they were all bad, but that at least was like fun '90s disaster movie bad. The American ones, were the newer legendary ones, I thought were just pretentious. And
I like 2014's Godzilla. I watched it again the other day. Actually, it does hold up. It's a pretty decent movie. Has its flaws, undoubtedly, but anyway. Culture. Do you care for Godzilla? Will you be watching this December?
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Are you kidding me? We talked about this when we first got that trailer, and I made the first stinger. I was really excited to make it. I think this is going to be the superior Godzilla film. I'm very much
agree with that.
I'm very much looking forward to a return to form for Godzilla. And I love all the I love all the real Godzilla stuff. I'm not a fan of look, I'm trying not to piss everybody off because of my take on Monarch, but I want this to be good. Let's just put it that way. I want this to be good and a real representative of the thing that I love. There you go.
Yeah. I think it will be that. I still think what I'm so flabbergasted by, great word, is that the director is the writer, is also the VFX guy.
Yeah, that's a kind of a good sign, I think.
I just think that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tom, what do you think, bud? Are you going to be
trying
watching
to figure
this?
out what my cat's looking at? No. I love Godzilla. I love how the American version's doing, from what it appears to be, several levels of entertainment, one for the kids, one for the adults with the Apple series, probably most likely. And Toho is continuing to do what they could, because the difference between this and when they did the 98 one, Toho had to wait a while before they could do another Godzilla. The deal then was, while that was still in effect, they couldn't make another movie at that time. And they were planning on making a sequel to the 98 film for a while. So that's why it took them, like 2 years or whatever it was, Andre, if I remember right, to make another Godzilla movie. Over in Japan, they had to wait. But yeah, after that one, this deal, they made sure that they could still make Godzilla movies. They just had to do it on the opposite years that Legendary was.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal they made there. And I don't think it's going to cause any kind of confusion in the market really at all or anything like that. If anything, this might open up some of the younger kids that are into the Legendary series to what the original Godzilla is more about.
Yeah.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Nick, what's your thoughts? We haven't got yours yet, I don't think.
Man, I've seen so many bad monster films in the last decade. I've seen a couple good ones. Troll that we watched, was good. But Godzilla, I haven't seen a whole lot of good ones in a while. So I'm fingers crossed this one is a banger, because I love Godzilla. I've watched Godzilla when I was a kid. I watched the Godzilla, and then Godzilla versus King Kong which was my favorite all the time as a kid. That I just recorded off TV and just would watch it all the time. But I really hope that they knock this one out of the park, because I don't want to be disappointed about another Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I would agree with that. I genuinely can't wait. Genuinely, I think this will be very, very. I mean, just to see it on the big screen where you're supposed to see it as well.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. Like
I'd much rather see one of these kind of movies on the big screen than on streaming service, for sure.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, right? We're all movie fans. Undoubtedly, we've probably got a very good, viewing setup at home. It doesn't compare.
No, it really doesn't.
No matter how good it is, no matter how good your surround sound is, whatever, it doesn't compare. It just doesn't. I'm fucking talking bollocks.
It definitely depends on the theater in my case, man.
All right. Well, yeah. But on like an IMAX screen, these kind of things.
If your nearest theater is a piece of shit theater, like where I am right now,
exactly.
the theaters ain't the greatest either. And my home setup is better than the theater.
Exactly.
Here. But again, that's a where you are situation.
It is. It totally is a me problem. Like they're showing the Haunting in Venice movie down at this little Locust cinema. Like, it's literally like a little Matchbox. My TV is probably bigger than their screen, but I'll probably go see it because I can see it for $5 this weekend instead of spending what, 25 when it comes on video on demand finally here next week.
Well, anyway, I can't wait to see this on the big screen. It's gonna be really good fun. And so yeah, just thought we'd cover that as a pretty good, nice, fun topic to get into. So we got some more super chats. I got some. What did you say?
Oh no, I was just agreeing that this movie looks good. Like I'm looking forward.
Oh right, okay, cool. Just as an FYI, guys, we've got 600 people watching and only a little bit over 300 thumbs up. So please do hit that thumbs up button. But just take this moment to say thank you all so much for joining. Again, it is over 600 of you tuning into your favorite podcast. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me. If you're tuning in and kind of don't know what this is a twice weekly podcast with a live panel. I sort of host it and run it. And we have obviously everyone else here regularly on the podcast, which is the HCast, my podcast. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it and sort of drifted in and gone, what's this? Stick around a little bit more. You might enjoy it a bit as well. I will say heavy demonetization. Cool. Keep the super chats rolling in. It helps out an awful lot. And on that note, Wartooth88 sent in $5. Says, Tom, did you hear that during the filming of The Penguin, Colin Farrell was banging Catwoman on the hood of Matt Reeves' car?
I would.
Well, did you hear that, Tom? Did you hear it or not, mate?
No. I'm not even the one who started that rumor. Why is everybody coming at me like that? I just said I believe it. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Yeah, right? That's all I said about it. It's like I said, you get very good looking people in the same place who go like, look, we can go fuck on the Batmobile right now. They're going to do that.
Yeah, and they're all freaks in Hollywood. It wouldn't surprise me if that was true at all.
Well.
At all.
All right. Well, the rumor did go a bit further and claim that she was going to have his baby and all this other bollocks. So
that's just the purple monkey dishwasher bullshit that comes down the road.
High Def sent in $10 and says, Mr. X, I seen that Mr. X, fuck's sake. I seen that Ripley liked the next Alien film. Can we trust his opinion after Alien Covenant? So we actually covered this here on the panel. And Tom, you came up with something very, very interesting. Do you want to reveal your thoughts and theories about Ridley Scott and the sort of frequency at which Alien movies have been made of late?
Yeah, this kind of goes with our reporting on Star Trek. Basically, I wonder if they have to get a movie in production, or his production company, Scott Free Productions, possibly loses access, aka rights, to produce Alien films. So as long as they keep them in production, they hang on to their side of the production deal, kind of like J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot and Star Trek and Paramount kind of deal.
And Sony and Spider-Man.
Same kind of thing ish. Yeah.
So basically, High Def, that's an interesting thing. So can we trust his opinion? We don't know what the rights deal is, actually. If he is
I'm just speculating. Sorry.
Yeah, no. But if he is in some way financially invested in the franchise in that sense, no, we can't trust his opinion at all. Many people would argue you can't trust his opinion because he made Alien Covenant.
Or like James Cameron when it comes to Terminator anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, because that guy lies out of his bloody butthole.
Yeah.
And he admits
he lies. Just freely. Yeah, I lied, mate.
Well, he has more incentive now because he actually has a stake in the franchise again. Unlike before, he was just doing it for his friends. Now he actually has a legitimate stake back.
Yeah, that's like funny because people are like hopeful that when Cameron gets to own territory again, he's going to reboot it himself.
He sold it straight away.
He got the ownership and he licensed it right back to the ones that made Terminator Sega Genesis to do Terminator.
Sega Genesis.
Absurd. Andre, mate, you need to dip out, don't you?
Yes, I do need to dip out right around now, but thanks for having me. And to answer the question, no, we cannot trust Ridley Scott's opinion where Alien is concerned for several reasons. One, he has a financial incentive to lie about it. Two, he showed not just with Alien Covenant, but with Prometheus, that he never got Alien at all. It was always Stan O'Bannon who was the secret sauce and the magic there. All Ridley Scott did was provide the visuals, which were great, the tone, which was ripped off of Stanley Kubrick, but then he gets some kind of ownership to it, and he's not interested in the aliens. He's interested in the AI. So if he likes it, to me, that's a cause for concern either way, because his opinion on that franchise is so extremely warped. I mean, if he likes the new Blade Runner series, that's a different matter. I trust his opinion there, but I don't trust his opinion when it comes to Alien.
I'm in the same
Are you
boat.
serious? He has like 10 different cuts of Blade Runner too.
Yeah, I know, but
And you can't even know there is, because you have a video with all 4 of them on screen at the same time, so you can compare the difference.
Yeah, I know, and there's a very little difference between them actually.
Oh my god!
The biggest difference is actually whether or not the stupid unicorn dream is there, which kind of messes up the sequels and everything. But still, all the themes and everything, regardless of which cut, with just minor differences between them, his sensibilities are like okay for Blade Runner, because that's AI. That's artificial intelligence, right?
He's obsessed with robots. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I think dude just wants to fuck a robot.
Oh my god! Right. No wonder we're demonetized, guys. No wonder.
That's better than Filoni, who wants to fool around with wolves.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Or little girl. Or little,
easy now.
Little girls with
easy now. Tentacle heads.
Tentacle heads.
Right. On that note, Andre, I think it's your time to duck out.
Yes, all right, sir. You want to have a fun rest of the stream? Be sure to check out Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow. More videos will be coming as soon as I put the finishing touches on them. I am working right now on a video about this massive MCU book that came out, which I now have concluded reading, and I'm working on the expose videos for. So that should be good times.
Is that book out, Andre, or is it about to come out?
No, it is out.
Okay.
Came out 2 weeks ago.
Can I steal your notes
That's
for
why we're getting
Flashcast
the
tomorrow?
articles now, because now is when the various pundits have finished reading it.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining, Andre. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah. Take care.
See you, Andre.
See you, buddy. Yeah. Bye.
Sorry, I finally got it working.
Sorry. We also had a super chat here from What's Your First Thought for $5 Canadian. It says $10 and my left ball says Dylan Mulvaney will be the next Bond. That's kind of the archetype that, weedy little.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. And now you got the UFC teaming up with Bud Light. I'm just like,
fucking no way.
Oh,
really?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh man, they're getting destroyed.
I think it's actually
Dana White, isn't it? He normally makes some good decisions.
It's not him.
It's not him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So what I think is happening is the folks over at Silver Lake Partners, who is a massive investment hedge fund in Silicon Valley, right? This is where all the tech bros put their money. They own 71% of Endeavor. Endeavor is the combined efforts of William Morris and a newly formed thing by Silver Lake called Endeavor. They merged those two entities together to just create Endeavor. Endeavor owns TKO. TKO is UFC and the WWE. Right. So I think because Endeavor wants to take, and I've said this to people privately now, I'm saying it in public for the first time, I think, although I speculated a little bit on my own show, I think that the Silver Lake folks wanted this deal to happen, and they're going to take whatever giant check Anheuser-Busch is writing them because they want to take Endeavor private again. And the only way to do that is to, get people to start tanking the stock. But you won't see that necessarily after they take it private. So what'll happen is publicly you'll start to see a decline as UFC takes a lot of heat for this, and ultimately Endeavor will as well, and it'll drive the share price down so they don't have to pay as high a premium to take the company private. So even if that's not their strategy, the other part of it could be, and I wish Andre was still here, the other part of it could be is that they are just going to do deals like this in the future that benefit their narrative, and so they will take Endeavor private just regardless. because they want to be able to obfuscate what impact this has on their businesses when they do these types of narrative support missions. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that they obviously made a gigantic check. And UFC guys are pretty based, man. I mean, they are. You're gonna have
It's for Bud Light's image, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It has less to do with UFC and more to do with Bud Light trying to
it's only
fix their image at this point.
Their image gets tarnished by
exactly.
It could. You run that risk. But what you also have is them trying to re-establish themselves as a male-centric brand again. So I'm not going to knock them for trying.
Anyway.
Huh?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to knock them for trying, but it's piss water. Like, it's disgusting stuff.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I don't drink anyway. But I mean, as far as like a business, there's a lot of people who work there. There's people whose lives, were thrown into disarray because they didn't go out and have anything to do with fucking their face, whatever. Dylan Mulvaney fucking up their entire fucking lives. Like, that's the thing. There's tons of innocent people here.
But gentlemen, again, it is, and I wasn't saying it wasn't to improve Bud Light's image or Anheuser-Busch's image overall. Every single spin that I've seen on this is exactly the same. I'm saying that this it didn't work when they did it with one of the manliest brands on the planet. They already tried this with Harley Davidson, right? So the fact that they're going out there and sponsoring UFC, which is, pretty manly sport, they're about to get, I mean, they're really going to wreck it. I mean,
I didn't think it was going to work necessarily, but I didn't think you did, Tom. But I mean, if it works, I'll be surprised, and that'll be fine. But I'm telling you right now, if there was some backroom deals trying to figure out, okay, so if this tanks us, we're going to buy it, and if this doesn't tank us, we're still going to buy it. Because I think, like I said, I think it's in their best interest to, if they really want to control the conversation, they have to start hiding the numbers and what effects happen when you do deals like this. And I think Endeavor is a pretty smart company with some, or I should say, fund. Silver Lake is a smart fund. Well, and it's not like UFC is the biggest thing anymore either, so it could work both ways for both of them. It could crash completely on his face at the same time.
Bud Light's efforts though are futile because that brand is dead. The only way that brand comes back and people start buying it is if they sell to Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump comes out and says, I own Bud Light now, and then all tons of people.
If they sell back to the Anheuser-Busch family.
Oh yeah, or the family. If the family got it back and they came out and said, F the people that were running this company were back in charge, and then they start coming out with some alpha male type commercials with Bud Light and like rebrand, and everything. Yeah, that's the only way it's coming back. It's not coming back under Anheuser-Busch and the current board that's running the company over there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. I didn't know that, guys. I'm sure it's news to some of you as well. But anyway. Gary sent in £5, says, I would love to see all the 80s action heroes to play flawed superheroes. It's a way to bring them back and just have them loosely connected. I'm going to say I wouldn't like that, because I think it works with one or two of them, not all of them.
Yeah, it's almost like
all of them, it becomes a parody. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I see your point though, Gary, mate. I do see it, and it could work, but personal preference, I think it's good as Sly doing it.
And who wants to see their especially the thing with Sly in the Samaritan is that was a unestablished property. That's a completely new character. There was no ties to that character from when you were a child or anything like that. It was completely new and fresh. If you take your childhood hero and then make him flawed and be basically like a bumbling idiot or like a dumbass, like Luke Skywalker was in The Last Jedi, you're gonna get backlash. So many people do not want to see their childhood heroes turned into idiots.
Yeah. Fung Meat for $14.99 Australian dollars says, "Morning, Mr. H and panel. Loving the live stream and content. Thank you so much. Massive thank you to everyone tuning in to the podcast today. Your Snow White coverage has been awesome. Interview with Director X was fantastic. Any news on the Henry Cavill Warhammer show? No. In short and sweet, basically, mate. Sorry, I can't really give you any more information outside of that, but no. The thing is, it shouldn't be affected by anything. Well, I don't know. I mean, it was supposed to be on Amazon, still with Games Workshop. Henry Cavill, I don't know whether he's a member of Equity or SAG-AFTRA, because he does work in Hollywood, but he's British, so it might be Equity as an actor. Equity is the UK side of SAG, basically. And so there's an element where maybe that the strike's postponing any announcements, but I don't know. I think with this stuff, with the Warhammer show, it's going to be quite a while until we see anything. Yeah. I think they announced it prematurely, basically. And I think that they run the risk now, unfortunately, of the hype train kind of running out of steam.
I don't know. I mean, it's the same strategy they used for this Fallout series that we're about to get. So, of course, I have no high hopes for that, because that's, Nolan and Joy again giving us Westworld 2.0. But
you got Wally Goggos.
Yeah, but he's getting a paycheck.
But he's a good actor.
I know. I love the guy. Don't get me wrong.
He played a murderous rapist in Predators.
Again,
forget that.
Love the guy, but
Cole's just like, red rapist. I'm in. I'm all in. All right then, mate. You do you.
All right. Thank you.
No, go on. Keep going. Sorry.
No, my whole point is, I have very low hope for that. But they kind of employed the same strategy. That was announced well in advance, or leaked. It was strategically leaked well in advance. So.
Yeah, but this was full blown announced, wasn't it? So you are right, actually. If we're comparing it like Amazon productions and stuff, so yeah, maybe, because that's gotten a release date now, so sort of announced that it's going to get released. So you are right. So don't know, mate, at this point in time, Fung Mate. Symbiotic Entity sent in a super sticker for $2. Thank you so much, guys. It's another way to support the channel. You don't have anything to say, drop in a super sticker. But just like we did earlier, Andrew with his £4.99 super chat guided an entire segment where we were talking about something, the James Bond stuff. So if you want us to talk about stuff, we honestly will. Sometimes it doesn't always work. It's whether there is a lot to chit chat about, but it's worth a go. Space Jettison sent in $9.99. I don't know if YouTube deleted your comment, in fairness, buddy. Not overly sure what's going on there. So if it deleted it, sorry. If not, thank you so much. But thank you so much anyway. Israel R sent in $5. Says, "Greetings, everyone. With Halloween being near, what are some haunting house movies you enjoy?" Poltergeist still sends chills. House of Wax with Paris Hilton.
I actually just watched that the other night. It was on TV.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
That movie's garbage.
Yeah, it is. It is garbage. But it was on, and it's that time of season, that time of year. So if there's a dumb horror film on, I'll watch it. Like I watched Pumpkinhead the other night. It was on. House of Wax, Jeepers Creepers.
The original Jeepers Creepers holds up, man. That's a good film.
I watched David Cronenberg's The Fly last night.
Great film.
Great film. Yep, loved The Fly. I watched it last night, which I actually got it on physical media on Blu-ray. Which, God, man, I was hoping there was when I was looking for it. I was hoping there was a 4K release of it out there, but there's not.
Well, Tom will be the man to answer that. He knows about
Disney.
Yeah, is it Disney's fault that there's no 4K of the
Fox movie? Oh yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's go around everyone then. Culture. What is your favorite haunted house movie?
13 Ghosts.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Tom.
Strictly haunted house movie.
Yeah, what is our haunted house movie?
Probably.
Yeah, see, that's where I couldn't go with any of the ones I normally would have.
Probably Amityville Horror, I guess.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Although
nice.
Poltergeist is the
It's
best one, but he
yeah.
already mentioned it. So.
You mentioned it, yeah. So
Yeah, Nick.
Oh man, that is a tough one because
You can choose more than one as well. You can choose more than one, I guess.
So my top three: Poltergeist, Amityville Horror, and the Entity. Have you ever seen Entity?
It rings a bell. It does ring a bell.
Tom? Entity?
I haven't.
Tom.
I'm aware of it.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen it.
That movie is freaking trippy.
Is that the one where the chick gets diddled by a ghost, or am I thinking?
Yeah. She gets banged by the spirit in the house throughout the film.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. And they end up setting up this whole model of her house in this like facility, so these doctors and all these people can like monitor her in there, and it's set up the same way. And so they're trying to like catch this demon that's like,
well, they want to
raping her and
watch
stuff. Like it's crazy.
Here's my two. Hellraiser, set in a house, definitely counts. Definitely counts. I'd say that counts as a haunted house. Right?
Does it?
Mate, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Though?
Yeah, of course it does.
I wouldn't. When you said, haunted house movie, Hellraiser definitely did not come to mind. Yeah, there's a house involved, but it's more of like when I'm thinking Hellraiser, I'm thinking Freddy, Jason, Pinhead, Michael Myers.
Look, the chat is agreeing with me. All right, the chat is agreeing with me.
I mean, so Halloween happens in houses.
Yes and no. I mean, the thing with Hellraiser is the thing that's haunted isn't the house; it's the cube.
Yeah,
but it's
so you can take that anywhere. Yeah, but the house isn't the focal point. Is my point. Well, I'm just saying because like the whole thing with Amityville and Poltergeist is both are built on Indian burial grounds, right? Like that's the whole gimmick.
Oh, well, then my next
it's the house. Yeah.
Either, so fuck it.
I'm sorry. That's just my definition. If you want to change it, that's up to. I mean, I get what you're saying. Nate. It's your show, man.
I just thought you meant like a horror in a house. I don't know. It's Israel R. He's the one asking, so I don't know.
It's his rules.
Yeah.
Well, he said he suggested haunted house because horror movies too general. I just meant like a haunting in a house. That's what I was going with because my next one was going to be, and I really honestly I do think this film is pretty damn good to be honest. Is it Sinister? Yeah, it's Sinister.
Oh, Sinister.
That film
yeah,
really does hold up. That is brutal.
Yeah,
and it's very freaky in parts here and there.
Very,
I like that movie.
Well, I mean, you could always do the caveat of haunted house or object, which would mean like the cube or Annabelle, for instance, would be a haunted object. But
yeah,
there you go. There you go. Well, there you go, Israel. Hopefully, we've answered your question. I think we did, albeit a little bit screwed up there.
What
but ladies and gentlemen,
I was going to ask one quick question. What was the Harrison Ford horror movie with the haunting at the house that he
What Lies Beneath, where he killed his old wife?
Yeah, What Lies Beneath.
Yeah.
That movie was
or not wife, but he killed the mistress and the wife.
Yeah,
he's haunted by her.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis directed that thing. That's the weird thing about that. If I remember right.
That's really interesting.
Anyway, ladies and gents, let's shuffle on to one of our headliner topics. Initial D is getting an adaptation. I'm sure loads of people know what Initial D. No one knows what Initial D is, do they? No. Anyway, Initial D was an anime.
Well, I meant the tip, but yeah.
Initial D is an anime. It's essentially generated spawned a few generations of car guys, right? This is the Toyota AE86, the Toyota Corolla AE86, which has famously been redone now with the Toyota 86 and the Subaru BRZ. This is the car that you can see on the screen, which is obviously they're trying to emulate that sort of style, rear-wheel drive, blah, blah, blah. And it famously, this anime showed very, very famously two-gay driving, right? So two-gay driving is basically drifting up and down mountains, right? Windy roads. And it was a really, really big thing. He's a tofu delivery driver. That's what he does with his Toyota AE86. These cars are fucking rare. They're incredibly rare, incredibly expensive. And Sung Kang, who did Fast and Furious, is now going to be directing Initial D. Now, this is good for a few reasons because, and we'll get into what they say in a little bit, and I'll give you my opinion now first. This is good for a few reasons because Sung Kang, although he starred in, although he's an actor and he starred in Fast and Furious, fucking loves his cars, and I mean really loves his cars. He's massive car guy, huge car guy. His car collection alone should inspire a significant amount of confidence with respect to him, taking this seriously. It's not the same as, say, what was the latest one that came out with Neil Blomkamp? What was that?
Gran Turismo.
That one.
Yeah.
It's not the same as that. It's not. That's a guy taking a paycheck. No offense, Blomkamp, but you're taking a paycheck. You're not a car guy. Sure, you did your best. This is a car guy who's an actor turned director working on a car. The legendary Initial D being adapted. That's a massive bonus. Huge bonus. So let's take a look at this. So a bit of a background for people that know anything about this, or don't know anything about this. So following his directorial debut with the film Shaky Shivers, a comedic horror set in Northern California, actor turned director Sung Kang has revealed 2 more projects that he's currently helming. One of them should be quite appealing for fans of the Fast and Furious franchise. Kang, who starred as Han Lu in the Fast and Furious franchise, revealed to the South China Morning Post that he's directing an adaptation of Shuichi Shigenao's Initial D manga. So it was a manga turned anime. So for those who are unfamiliar with the manga, Kang explained it in the most basic type of way. It's about cars and drifting and cool things like that. It's basically it. A little bit interpersonal drama thrown in as well, but that's the basis of it, right? It's centered all around that, and it's fucking good as well. Excuse the language. Almost a Rocky or Karate Kid, he added. A fun, big budget movie that expresses my love affair for cars. So more specifically, Initial D is a manga series written and illustrated by Shuichi Shigenao, I'm butchering that, that takes us into the world of illegal Japanese street racing. Two gay racing. The story follows teenage high school Takumi Fujiwara, whose job as a tofu delivery boy has helped turn him into one of the most formidable drivers around. Because for those that don't know, Japan actually had an incredibly prominent illegal night drive street race scene. Fucking huge. It was massive, like beyond belief. These rich businessmen would be working day jobs as businessmen, and then they'd hop in Nissan GTRs, Toyota Supras, whatever at night, and just fucking go hooning down the motorways. Beyond belief. You want to look up this stuff, guys, because it is larger than life. It's like it sounds like a comedy, but yeah, they would do that, and they were notorious. It was crazy. So I mean, there you go. I mean, it's looking like a lot of you guys don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine, but what do you think? And do you know anything about it? Let me know. For those that don't know, I'm a huge car guy. Yeah. I'm a huge car guy. I've got 3 cars. I've got a 4th one on the way. I love my old Japanese cars. I love rare cars. I'm a big car guy. I've even got a car channel, which I don't talk about very much. I'm a big car guy. So this, to me, love it. Lots of people in the chat are saying they're really keen on it as well.
Yeah.
What do we think? Culture?
I'm stoked, man. Okay, so I'm one of those people that I like these kinds of films. I know it's a terrible movie, but I like Tokyo Drift, which is mentioned in the article and all that. I mean, I like a lot of these car racing things, and I love cars. So this will appeal to me despite having no knowledge of it ahead of time. And yet I believe in it because, again, you cited his credentials. So, and I still think your characterization of Blomkamp's Gran Turismo is a little harsh, but it's fine. We don't have to agree on it. But this is a great film, actually, but it's fine. I mean, you know what? I've decided maybe you weren't loved as a child by your parents. That's what it is. So you didn't like the too much family. Too much family.
I would say it was a little overrated.
It's pretty good.
It was good, but it was a little overrated.
But what I enjoy is that if they really are going to dive into this, and again, I like the illegal Japanese street racing like thing, and I'm
great.
stoked.
Yeah,
Man.
great.
I'm stoked.
Yeah. Nick?
So I don't know anything about Initial D, but I do know about Initial D's nuts. But no, but in all seriousness, if you got a car guy who has a love for cars, he's been part of the Fast and Furious franchise for a long time. Plus, this is coming from a Japanese anime. You know, they knocked it out of the park with One Piece, and I'm just like, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about One Piece, just like I don't know about anything about Initial D. And so, if they take the same care and love of that and stick to the source material and kind of put like maybe a more interesting, modern day twist on as far as with cars or whatever, that'd probably be fine. But if they can do that, I could end up loving this thing like the way I love One Piece when I don't know anything about Initial D. And maybe word of mouth will be huge too. If this thing comes out and everybody's like, this movie is freaking badass. It's a movie and it's not a show, right?
Yeah, I think movie said movie.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I'll be curious once it comes out to see what everybody's take is on it. If everybody's saying that it's worth a watch, I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Yeah, I think it doesn't say whether it's a movie. I'm assuming it's a movie. I would imagine so. And just as a bit of a background, these are some of his cars. So he owns a 1973 Datsun 240Z, Fuguzi. He's got a 1963 Datsun L.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
that's old school right there.
You said Fuguzi, I said Fuguyu.
So I've got a car similar-ish to this, a few years newer generation, but a sort of a four-door version of it, which is there. You can kind of see similarities-ish. So this is the L320, which is also the 520, and then the 521, and then from there it sort of developed into the 510, which is what that car is, which I've got. So it sort of generated up through the years.
And that is a tough.
I love those old pickups. He's got a Buick Grand National.
Oh,
bloody
wow.
Cool. And he's also got a Datsun 240Z G Money, a 1976 one. Everyone loves Datsun
looking
240.
good.
So it looks like this guy's a Datsun fan as well.
Oh, and he's got a 1974 Porsche 914 V8. So pretty bloody cool. And that's apparently it. I'm sure he's probably got more. This is all I could find really, really quickly whilst I was, we're doing this stream just to sort of validate some of the stuff. So this is why I'm personally excited for it, because I think, I just think it'd be really good. Literally just from that, to be fair.
I think this is the third topic that we've talked about today that we've haven't been shitting all over something, and it's been something
good, isn't it?
Good.
What do you think, Tom?
It's not a hate stream.
I'll go with what you said since you're the big car fan here.
I mean, that works.
Car movies lately haven't exactly done the best. I don't think we've had a successful car movie since Baby Driver at this point.
Oh, Ford versus Ferrari, mate.
Oh, well, was that successful financially, though?
No, but an exceptionally good film.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
But I think that came out at the time when theaters had to shut down quickly as well.
Perhaps, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to look at it from the perspective of last Fast and Furious movie didn't do all that great. There hasn't been a lot of racing movies that
225 million worldwide. So
which one?
The
Ford
last
versus
one.
Ferrari on a $97 million budget.
So it's eked by.
Yeah, just scraped.
It made it
not great.
What I'm just saying is right now I'm not so sure. I mean, the studios are going to notice if there's not a lot of interest. So unless this movie does well, then I mean, car fans show up for stuff like this. Otherwise, they're not going to make those kind of movies.
No.
Yeah,
and internationally, even still today, the Fast and Furious movies do great.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I think this will blow up in Japan. Like, and
yeah.
Japan has been a big market for some films. Japan has provided. I think it was for Mission Impossible. It took over $100 million in Japan, right? So I think it's Mission Impossible anyway. So if they turn out for this, that could make or break the whole thing, basically, just from them alone. So it says a lot. Let's get us some super chats quickly before we move on to our next topic. So we had this from Wartooth88 for $2. Says thoughts on GTA 6. Trailer is dropping soon. What do we think about GTA 6? Have you heard the rumors of GTA 6?
I figured that they were coming out with the next one. It was just a matter of time, because it's the new consoles out. The GTA 5 came out forever ago. That thing's been modded to death. People still play that game even still today. So GTA 6 is just one of those games. It's always going to do good.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's always.
I don't know. Like real life is basically GTA now. Do we need a game?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Well, guys, you haven't heard the rumors then, because even more like real life, it's going to be strong wham and lead.
That's what I heard. Yeah. So basically, you're an Antifa member going around stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise and killing people. It's amazing.
Yeah, essentially.
All the girl gamers will be on board.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think it risks because, like, Rockstar have gone garbage with a lot of their stuff lately. So
Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 probably.
Yeah, I think GTA 6 will be shit. No offense. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I think it'll be shit.
I mean, Red Dead 2 was probably one of the best games ever, and GTA 5 best Grand Theft Auto games ever. So at that kind of hit.
Well, the thing about GTA was it was offensive, right? And it was hilarious in the way it did it. I mean, those adverts on the radio were absolute gold. Press rated R for retarded. I mean, that stuff it's comedy gold. The people that wrote all of that
it was all tongue in cheek, exactly. Yeah,
geniuses. It was so funny.
And I agree with you. I don't know if you can do that anymore. Yeah,
no, but they've already come out and released statements saying that they won't be doing stuff like that again.
Then what is the point?
Like, yeah, no, exactly.
So since it's going to be female led, so there's no more. She's not going to be stopping and picking up a hooker and then beating her with a baseball bat and getting the money afterwards. That probably won't even be in the game now. Yeah, if they're going in that direction, fans are going to be done. They'll just keep playing GTA 5.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, it's still there, isn't it, for people to play?
You can play GTA 5 infinitely. I mean, and I love that game.
You got so much online stuff. Exactly, you can make your own characters and everything.
I've played that game now, like so many times over, like the standalone game, the campaign game, and then you're right, Tom. I love the online game. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. And if it's going to be supporting the narrative crap, then I knew this was going to happen when they got rid of the Better Hauser. That they are going to go the wrong way. So
yeah, honestly, that's what all the rumors are anyway. So yeah, proper poo, to be honest. So,
see, there you go, Wartooth. I've heard of all these rumors on GTA 6.
Sorry, mate. Burst your bubble there.
Sad news.
Fletcho McTaggy, great name, sent in 10 Canadian dollars. Says now that it's been about 7 or 8 years since it was cancelled, but was Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 a bullet dodged, or was it concept ahead of its time with rewriting franchise canon? So his movie Demonic has significantly tempered my opinions of him. So when that movie came out, I was like, yeah, we absolutely dodged a bullet with Alien 5, because Demonic was absolute wank. It was the biggest part of wank. You might as well have been in a sperm donor hospital, for goodness sake. That's how much wank it was. So it was awful, absolute garbage. So I'm going to stick with that, because that's the last film I've watched of his. Gran Turismo might be really good, I don't know, but in terms of that film and him doing his own stuff, it was just so crap. So thoughts, guys? Chime in on this.
I liked the concept art for Alien 5. And we really haven't gotten anything. I mean, I wasn't a big. The third one was not that bad. It's not my favorite. The fourth one was just, oh God, man, there were some cool things in the fourth one, but overall I was not a fan of the fourth one. It's just, I don't know if I trust anybody to do any Alien movies because it doesn't seem like anybody's getting it right, and the studios are greenlighting these ones that just really aren't that good. I'm curious to see what we'll get with this Alien, this next Alien movie, Romulus.
And the TV show as well, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I could say we dodged a bullet or not with his Alien 5.
All right. Nick is undecided. Culture,
yeah, I'm
do you dodge a bullet or not?
I haven't been able to get excited about this for a while. I actually created an unused clip for Alien. If we ever have an Alien story we run again, I'm gonna upload it. But
okay. Well, we will be soon.
Yeah,
Romulus stuff. So
yeah, and so I'll have that ready to go. But no, this is one of those things that I don't know that anybody understands it anymore. It's just Tom would probably be able to explain it better than me, but it's like some things you understand. Like directors can get like maybe into the icon's mind, right? Like some people can get into Carpenter's mind, some people can get into the mind of the person, of the creator. But now I don't even think people have that ability. They don't have that in their possession any longer. So when somebody messes with something good and they don't have the secret sauce, the magic jelly, whatever you want to call it, it turns out being like tosh. It's proper rubbish. And I don't get terribly excited for stuff like that. I have to see more than just like concept art and interviews talking about a film before I'm gonna even try to guess whether it'll be good or not. What did we dodge a bullet with Blomkamp? I don't know. I mean, I know your opinion on Blomkamp has gone down, but I still think he's got a lot out there. And
I think he can be good. I think he can be good.
I think
you're only as good as your last failure, right?
It's true. Although I would say Gran Turismo wasn't necessarily on him. It didn't get any marketing, but that's an entirely other conversation.
Yeah, I think Gran Turismo is a fine film. I mean, it proves that he can make a studio picture.
It also proves that he can make a sports picture and
or whatever. Yeah.
So
I'm a little outside of his wheelhouse, definitely. I mean, I guess I'll take it from here. Like, basically, I feel like the bullet, we got hit with a bullet, and that bullet had Ridley Scott name written all over it. So I honestly think we would have been better off with Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 for better or worse at this point.
I agree with that.
At least, even if it turned out to be shit, we just know from his initial, ideas that it was trying to reset the franchise back to where the majority of the fans wanted it to go. Now, I have loved every Neil Blomkamp movie I've seen. I have not seen the one you just mentioned, Nate, but you were the one who got me to watch Elysium, and I ended up loving it. And
it's a good movie, man.
It is. It was a great film.
Yeah,
I love Chappie. I love District 9. I've been hearing about District 10 coming for a long time now. We talked to Neil's wife a little bit about some things, but I can't say too much. But it was just a matter of look, after that, when he got shit on for that because of Ridley, I was hoping he was going to get to do RoboCop, and then MGM screwed that up. So at this point, I feel like the guy has not gotten the break he deserves. He should have been the guy making Star Wars movies or something at this point. He's a visionary. He can take... Look, I get it. Some people didn't like Chappie because it's RoboCop meets Short Circuit. Well, you know what that tells me? He should be working on some of these other franchises because he clearly loves those things, right? Like, that's what he grew up on. That's what he wants to do. Let him do it. Let him have at an Alien film. Why is Ridley so resistant to him? What is it about these two that just didn't click? I don't get it. You want to know what didn't click? He was trying to pick up where Aliens left off instead of Alien. That's where they didn't click.
Well, their vision and direction for the franchise was two totally separate directions.
Well, we did hear there was a lot of internal politics going on about it all. So, and that would be Ridley,
and that just goes along with my whole idea that Ridley wanted to reclaim this as his own, basically, when it really wasn't.
Yep, agreed with that. Absolutely agreed with that.
We'll never know, but I think the bullet dodged. We already got hit with, basically. That was the dodging bullet, I guess. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. Nick, you need to leave, don't you, buddy?
Yep, we got our quarterly department meeting of all the departments in IT starting here in a few minutes. We only have these every quarter, so 4 times a year.
Yeah,
but
so
today is that one, so I gotta hop out a little early.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see you on Tuesday. I know you're busy at the moment with work.
Yeah. This time of year is our most busy, just doing a ton of end of year stuff, trying to get projects knocked out before the next billing cycle where they can like get funds and all that. So there's just a ton of crap that we have to do. It's super busy. Mid November, it'll pretty much slack off, and in the rest of the year, it's gonna be slow as shit. But like my Tuesday meetings will literally probably last less than 30 minutes every single Tuesday.
I thought Nick was gonna go rest of the year, chill stream.
Yeah, rest of the year, chill stream. No working. Saturday night, no chill stream this week. Saturday night, live stream on the channel. We're completely changing everything over on the channel. The algorithm is not liking what we're trying to do over there by covering non-Star Wars content. The algorithm is not a fan. But so yeah, if you guys want to help fight against the YouTube algorithm and come give us a sub, check us out. Echo Base Network.
In the description box, guys. Check it out.
Yep. Nice. Thanks, guys. Dude. I'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Bye now.
Have a good one.
So we've got some more super chats real quick, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, we get demonetized here, so this goes a long way. Abjaleo for $5 says Bethesda doesn't understand Fallout and the show is being handed. Yeah, you are right. Handed to people who understand even less. Fallout is a walking, defiled corpse. No hope. Agreed, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, no, spot on. Spot on.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. Muqtada Ali for £5 says, I would like to see game adaptations of Midnight Club or Burnout. Used to play it on PS2. Yes.
Didn't Midnight Club already get a movie?
I thought did they get a show or did
something like that? I thought they did. My bad.
Google.
I would love to see a film.
Go and Google. Funkmate for $2.99 says thoughts on Nick Cage Gone in 60 Seconds.
I liked it.
It's good.
Fun.
No, it is good. The strong word, but it's a fun film.
It's a fun film. Yeah, I mean,
it's good. I like it. It's good. Anyway,
it's not as good. It's one of those rare films that's probably better than the original because the original is just kind of a meandering mess. I don't know if you've ever seen the original. It's
I like
just
Nick Cage. I like that.
Yeah, the Nick Cage version with Giovanna Ribisi's great, and even Angelina Jolie's okay in it. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good film. The CGI doesn't hold up nowadays as far as the car scenes, but other than that, yeah.
Culture, what are you going to say about Midnight Club?
Oh no! I was going to say that I enjoyed Cage and Jolie in that film.
I thought you were googling bloody Midnight Club.
I am. Calm down.
You're the producer.
Actually,
Produce
the Midnight Club. The Midnight Club that got made was some dumb kid show.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Right. What's your first thought? Sending 10 Canadian dollars. Says Initial D is a fantastic anime that can teach you a lot about driving and drifting. Fun fact: the father of the main character is based on the grandfather of drifting, Keiichi Tsuchiya. I'm butchering all these names, but yes, I'm glad that there are other people that know about Initial D, and it wasn't just me spewing bollocks. So yeah, good. High Def sent him $5. Says Mr. X, do you think we'll ever get a game adaptation of Mass Effect or Halo? Not the shitty TV series one. I have no idea. Probably not at this rate, but probably because they don't want to create anything new. So yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. Halo, who knows even if it's coming back? They said it was. They're threatening it, but we have yet to see anything. So I don't know. I actually don't know. Gary for £5 says, I can't wait for the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes. Rockstar are letting Remedy, the guys behind Alan Wake and the original creators of Max Payne, make it. That's good news. Max Payne was epic. I really like Max Payne.
I loved the first game, and the second one was okay. I liked the creation of Bullet Time. That's how we ended up with the Matrix.
So good. Yeah. Bullet Time was great.
Yeah, and it really changed a lot. But at the same time,
Visionary game mechanic, that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Are you loving that idea?
Well, have you seen Alan Wake? You've seen the trailers of Alan Wake?
Yeah. In fact, I've got people in my chat telling me I need to play it on my channel.
Well, this is what I mean. The guys behind that are going to be playing it.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. Like I said, I'm stoked if they don't touch the story or the voice acting or anything else.
I would assume they're not going to. I assume they're not going to. The thing is, I have confidence in game remakes because Resident Evil have done so well with it. They've done very, 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 very well with it. So if they take that sort of a side of it, I'd say it's going to be a winner. But some cautiously optimism around, I guess. Big Al Games for £2 says, remember, Mr. H, Alien is not a horror movie. Oh, God. Yeah.
The first movie's Halloween in space.
Isn't it a family movie? I mean, it's all about family, right?
It's a Disney film.
It's a working film. They're just space truckers. Prometheus and Covenant were an Uzi-fired point blank.
At the Alien franchise. Yeah, you're not wrong, Shanatsky.
Yeah. And Dark Side Droids.
Hey, Dark Side Droid, what's up?
Great name. For $20. Says, finally caught on Mr. H stream. This is the H-Cast. It's a whole podcast, my dude. Good to see you, gents. Just out of curiosity, what are your top 3 horror films and why?
Wow,
so,
holy crap.
So, one of mine is obviously Hellraiser. I love it. It's got a soft spot in my heart. I like Pinhead as a villain / I guess, antagonist, maybe.
It will rip your heart out. That's a good thing. It's got a special place there. Well, it'll still rip your heart out too, I bet.
Yeah. Because I like him because he changed the sort of slasher genre and turned it on its head because he was intelligent. So I really like that. I like that sort of the eloquence behind Pinhead. Sort of, I don't know. There's something compelling about that. Other two horror movies I really like. Well, I'll give you a modern one that I liked quite a lot, which was actually Color Out of Space, Nicolas Cage. That's a very good, very, very good adaptation of a Lovecraft story. That's an exceptionally good. And The Thing. I will say The Thing's a horror movie as well, I guess. Culture.
Make Tom go first.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You dirty bastard.
Tom.
I guess probably my all-time. Well, does Jaws count as a horror movie or is something else? See, that's
you just justify it your way, I guess. I mean,
I guess I wouldn't consider that straight up horror. So, I guess we're talking straight up horror. Number 1 always has to be The Exorcist. Number 2, a tie between Nightmare on Elm Street and Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And in third place, balls. You have to do this shit to me, don't you?
Yes. Dark Side Droids did this to you.
Yes, he did. Fuck. I can't choose between Halloween and Child's Play. Like,
Child's Play, right?
Yeah, the original.
Is that horror? Is it just a slasher? This is the thing.
Well, I mean, I consider horror and slasher the same. It's a subgenre of. But I mean, I guess if you're going with that route, since Nightmare on Elm Street and Exorcist are kind of more in the same pants.
But I don't know. Quantify it, really.
Yeah, I mean,
it counts. I'd say it counts.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Go Culture.
Right. Event Horizon. Halloween. The Thing.
And why?
What's The Thing?
I'm gonna kill you. Look, I mean, it's really easy. In this list will change all the time depending upon how I'm thinking about it. Event Horizon has to be the most terrifying film I think I've ever seen. And I've seen the original Faces of Death film when I was way too young to see that. But I absolutely, and I love Halloween. Halloween is one of the best ones. You know, it's in this case woman versus the unknown. And then The Thing, it speaks for itself. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, I'm sorry. For me, horror is more about it's something that's mental. So, like, whenever I participated in or was hired to do a haunt or anything, right? I always thought about why are you laughing?
Because I said like Amber Heard.
No,
especially after a crazy night.
Whenever I was involved in that, right? I wanted to get into your head. And so I did every trick that I knew how to get into somebody's head to make them uncomfortable. And you can oh God. Yeah. You can make that happen in a lot of different ways. But if you get inside of somebody's head,
she stepped on a bee in that picture.
So like you said, there's 100 horror films that fall into that category. I mean, technically Shining, The Shining. I mean, I could go through a million of them. I think Jaws is one of the most intriguing of the psychological.
See, I don't know if I could. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. But people are giving me shit for Child's Play. I think people forgot how scary the first Child's Play was.
Yeah, I think they did. But how long did it take before we got to see the shark? I mean,
but that's not the point.
But that's the psychology. There's no way that
the psychology is the fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Lovecraft said it best. The oldest emotion is fear, and fear is the fear of the unknown, or something along those lines. Anyway, So like true horror is always the fear of the unknown. You reveal that unknown, then it significantly downplays the
and there's a place for every other element, like body horror and stuff like that. But and if you've ever if you've ever done any prosthetic work, if you've ever done any makeup or anything, you really have an appreciation for that. But at the same time, it's what's underneath. There's always something hidden, including the motivation of whatever's happening. That's ultimately the best part of horror to me. But hey, there you
go. Oh, well, there you go. Right, well, we'll shuffle on now. Thank you for that, Dark Side Droids, my dude.
Indeed.
Great
to see you, Dark Side.
Great question. But we're going to take a brief hiatus from answering super chats. We're going to shuffle on to our next topic. So if you got anything else for us to cover, we'll cover it again. We'll take some super chats again at the end of this topic. But we do need to shuffle on, ladies and gentlemen, to
dang it, Bob.
Well, that is right. So the Pixar chief, Pete Docter, is basically just blaming Disney for everything, playing scapegoat game.
Well, it's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Well, he is and he isn't. So they have their own fault to play in all of this as well. Remember, they ousted John Lasseter.
Well, that was Disney. That was Iger's choice.
But it was still people within Pixar. Right?
Yeah, but it wasn't the type of people that were thinking. It wasn't like people like Pete Docter. It was these young women who were trying to oust him because he was an old white dude who told them what to do. That's why they didn't like him.
Yeah. But so they basically said that the animation company has drifted too far from its storytelling roots. It was in an interview with the New York Times. Brooke Barnes described a Zoom interview he had with Docter that primarily revolved around the failure of Elemental. So for those that don't know, Elemental was Pixar's most recent film. It grossed $29.6 million in its opening weekend. Domestically, it went on to do $154.4 million. And then it amazingly did $333.7 million internationally, which is great, for a total of $488.1 million, but that's not good because it had an estimated production budget of $200 million. So that's not good. That's quite a big failure, even though they're trying to frame it as a huge positive. So that's not good at all. At all. That's a big, big failure. So according to Barnes, Docter placed the blame on Walt Disney executives who moved Pixar films from theatrical releases to Disney Plus. Barnes detailed, for a start, Docter said, this is Docter saying this, for a start, Disney had undercut Pixar as a big screen force by using its films to build the Disney Plus streaming service. So he pointed out Soul, Turning Red, Luca, all being released on Disney Plus instead of theater. So Docter claims that this change shifted the way viewers look at Pixar films because, it does. It devalues the product, which is what I've been saying for ages. Streaming is never the future. It was never going to be. even though everyone thought it was. There has been an overall shift in viewing habits as a result of the pandemic, but it's also specific to Disney Plus. We've told people, hey, all of this is going to be available to you on Disney Plus. And also, remember, ladies and gents, they are producing shockingly bad visual effects. I mean, this looks like fucking crap. This genuinely looks like crap. So this is Pixar's fault, something looking like crap. So they said, although not saying so directly, Mr. Doctor also indicated that Pixar had perhaps drifted too far from its storytelling roots. I always felt that Elemental would speak to a lot of people, and I'm so happy it has, but we have also taken another look at the projects we're working on now. What are the kinds of films we want to be making? I really think I want to double down on what allowed us to speak to audiences to begin with. And Doctor's made similar comments before. So he said, we made Soul for the big screen. We looked at every frame. There's so much detail, gorgeous imagery and work that was done that you can't quite appreciate on a smaller screen. This is true. However, there was a pandemic going on. On one hand, we were so thankful that there was Disney Plus so that we could release the film and people could see it. Otherwise, it would just sit on a shelf for a year and a half. In the long run, there's been a bit of a mixed blessing because we've trained audiences that these films will be available for you on Disney Plus, and it's more expensive for a family of 4 to go to a theater when they know they can wait and it'll come out on the platform. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, a lot of it is about having to get back straight down to brass taxes of storytelling. What do we think about this? Because I think a lot of people, you know, they shift the blame from Pixar to Disney, but Pixar is still quite a large part of this blame here. They spend $200+ million on a product, and it looks like absolute crap. They haven't updated their CGI sort of animation stuff for a very long time. It always looks like garbage. They overspend, and the stories have been shit, and there's still a rot at its core within Pixar as well. So, although I think Disney's to blame, I do think they're both to blame. But thoughts? I know, Tom, you probably got some spicy comments on this, mate.
Well, the talent went out the door with John Lasseter. I mean, we're both in agreement there, I think, if anything. And yes, it was stupid idiots inside Pixar that were pushing to have him ousted, and Bob bowed to their wishes because of the whole Me Too movement, even though there was zero proof that he had done anything wrong, and they were clearly making shit up on the guy. And guess what? Pixar has suffered. Disney Animation has suffered. At the end of the day, the big person to blame is Bob. Bob's the one who could have stopped the whole thing.
Yeah. And no, I mean, and Anna's right in the chat and Tom's right here. And it's this thing I've been saying now for years. I've never heard of a guy getting fired because he liked to hug people. I mean, that's basically what it came down to. He hugged somebody too long. They didn't talk to him about it directly, and I don't want to get into it all. But it ultimately, not only did Lasseter go out the door, but all of the ideas and all of the proper direction went out the door because he really understood
what went with him too, right?
There are people that used to be with Disney or Pixar that are now with him over at Skydance. Yeah, and you know what? They're going to have the freedom to tell stories the way you're supposed to tell stories. He is a brilliant mind. He would go in and cancel projects, and Tom and I have talked about this before. He would go in and cancel whatever the work that had been done on a project, even if it was 60-70% done. He'd say, you know what? This is not working. We need to go back and revisit this. You know, maybe they'll salvage some of whatever it was, but he would not let something bad go out the door. And again, I mean, you know, you suffer when you lean too much into these, you know, social movements because it destroys the culture that makes things work. So yeah, blaming Disney, good choice. Except Pete, you don't make great stuff either, dude. Just so you know. I mean, I think I'd probably tell him that in person. Say, man, the Elemental was not as good as you think, dude.
That's trash. Jesus. And then you also had that. What was the other one that they released? New World, something like that?
Oh, no, that was Walt Disney Animation Studios. That was Strange World.
It's basically the same thing. That was the same animation.
Well, okay. So, Tom, remind me the name of the guy that retired, that kind of took half of their creativity out the door with him. Lasseter's partner in crime. Because I always forget his name. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just can't remember the guy's name. But anyway,
there was the one guy that died, but then I don't remember anybody who.
There were basically two, and the two guys were really what made things happen. And then Disney stretched Lasseter thin and then kicked him out. They had him doing both.
Was
Pixar.
it Catamol or saying in the chat?
Catmull.
It was Jack Mehoff, I think.
Mehoff. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. And Ed Catmull. Yeah, you guys both named two brilliant names. But anyway, you have these two. Anyway, regardless, they basically put Lasseter in charge over Walt Disney Studios Animation and over Pixar. And that's when they got incredibly strained. And the storytelling for both kind of suffered a bit. And that's why they also kind of look the same now. So this was a terrible decision-making process. And that's it. So yes, Disney's run it into the ground, but it always comes down to leadership and the fact that you are essentially changing the culture that made something successful, which is why Star Wars sucks balls now. It's why Marvel sucks balls now. It's why Pixar sucks balls now.
It's gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, there you have it, guys. There you have it. Let's get to some more super chats, like I said we would. So again, thank you so much. We're steamrolling through the stream. I know we normally end at 2 hours. We still got a few more bits and pieces to chit chat about. So we're still here, guys. You want to chit chat to us? You want to contribute to the conversation, but also just want to support the channel. Become a member. Become a patron, but also super chats and super stickers. So Peter Hewitt for $2 says, "You hunks see the Cheesecake Factory date vid?" Nope. What is this?
No.
What? No.
I know what the Cheesecake Factory is, but I don't know about this. Yeah.
We don't. I don't think we have a Cheesecake Factory here in the UK. I know what it is because I work.
Was that the video? Was that the video where the lady was complaining because the guy took her to the Cheesecake Factory for a date, and that wasn't like good enough for her or something? I remember the mention. I'll have to look it up, but.
Interesting. Well, there you go. We don't know, Peter. We don't.
Oh yeah, Magba says yeah. So yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So
like I said, I'm like, okay.
So what is it? Just break it down for me. Tell me what it is.
I just did that. That is essentially it. I mean, people reveal just how terrible they are on TikTok.
Yeah. A woman is complaining that a bloke took her to the Cheesecake Factory. Oh, hold on. Tom's got it. What's this?
There you go.
I think this is the video.
Yeah, I think so.
Play it.
Let me just get the door for you. Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. Oh, you're not just going. Yes. Would you want me to open the door for you? Look here. You're recording me? Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. What's the problem with that? This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant? You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it. Yeah. Right. I'm going to get up going in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Right. Well, I've got a few things to say about that. So
I was going to say, well, that chick just made that guy's life great because now every bitch in the world's going to be coming after him like, fuck her. You don't need her. You can take me to Cheesecake Factory every motherfucking night, honey.
Well, just I don't do dating advice or anything like that on this podcast, but guys,
Anna,
guys,
oh no, Anna.
and also women, just as an FYI. A first date actually shouldn't involve any money, right? Guys, stop paying for your first dates. Don't take anyone anywhere on a first date that involves money. This is good advice. Women, don't expect to be taken anywhere on a first date that involves money because two things. Women, you are taking several men on first dates all the time. There are multiple first dates. You are getting meals for free. And if you expect any more than that, or even if you expect that, you're a fucking degenerate scumbag, right? Men, That's why you don't pay for women on a first date in terms of taking them somewhere. You establish from the off that you must purchase a woman's time. Is she a prostitute? No, because at the end of that date, you're not guaranteed to fuck her. Your money would be well spent on a prostitute, at least in that on that basis. Stop spending money on first dates. Stop it. Stop it. All of you, stop it. Invite someone out for a walk. And if someone goes, "Me, walk," well, fuck that absolute piece of shit scumbag. If you cannot connect on a general level just from a basic conversation, they're not worth your time. They're not worth your time remotely, right? Materialistic elements will only last so far in a relationship. You start the thing is about women in the modern dating marketplace is that they like that guy was a true gentleman. He said, "Do you want me to open the door for you? Did you catch all of that? Would you like me to open the door for you?" That is a gentleman. That woman is not a lady. She's not a lady. I mean, she looks like a cow, quite frankly. She's the size of one, but she's not a lady. That guy is taking his traditional male role being a gentleman. He is, genuinely. He said, "Would you like me to open the door?" But that woman is not a lady. She will be going on multiple dates that week, multiple dates that in, you know, the overall few months, whatever, etc. So no, don't take these traditional roles when the other side of the party doesn't parlay that. They're not. That's not a transactional basis, right? She is not a lady. He's being a gentleman. Don't be a gentleman for someone that's not a fucking lady. Fuck them off completely. Anyway,
I tell you
to
what,
add to that.
I was just going to say that it looks like the only place she's ever missed is the salad bar, but
It looks like she had a fill in a fucking Cheesecake Factory. The fat.
I just honestly,
perfect. Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's even safer. I think first of all, your walk idea is brilliant. To like go to the park and have a walk, a bit of a conversation. I think that's brilliant. I think a coffee
a walk is fantastic, right? A walk is absolutely brilliant. You have distractions, you have topical things that you can see and pull off and talk about. But also, it tells a lot about someone. If you don't have functional IQ with the ability to just have a basic conversation, which is sorely missed in society of this era, most people can't hold a conversation. My God, piss off. Complete waste of time.
And the walk is a refreshing idea. I think a lot of ladies would be surprised by that. And they certainly would, I think you'd have a lot of people warm to that. I've never heard of that before. So well done on your part.
But again, the thing is, modern dating is atrocious because men are still taking on their traditional gender roles of being a gentleman, right? They pay for things, they do this, they offer to open the fucking door for the, fat heifers. And yet that's not a woman. That's a woman. That's not a lady. She's not being a lady. She's going on multiple dates that week. She's just reaping the benefits of multiple dating. That's not what a lady is. That's not a traditional lady. You want to be treated traditional. You want traditional men. Be traditional yourself.
Yeah. I mean, and treat the courting experience like what it's supposed to be. I mean, that's that. Look, if you want traditional things, then you have to expect traditional courting. And there's that. I mean, I grew up at the right time. I mean, I'm
fucking hell, I didn't. Jesus.
So I benefited largely. But no, look, she is a terrible person, and she put it on display. This is the other thing about these people that drive me crazy. They think
they're right, so they put it on display. It's so funny.
I'm like, you are an awful person, and you're showing everybody just how awful you are. Why?
Absolute scammer.
Goodness,
Tom,
that's peak
narcissism, bro.
Well, that's what I was saying is she thinks she's shaming this dude. She just got this guy hundreds of date proposals and didn't even realize what she was doing and through her stupidity. Because there are plenty of women that are more than happy to go out to the fucking cheesecake or to have any man take them out, right? Just in general, so, and I'm not saying like they're just desperate. I'm just saying like just the idea of just typical courtship in especially the swipe left era, like this bitch is off her fucking rocker. What the fuck does she think she's worth?
Sadie agrees. That's well timed. That was well timed. Right, but there you go. Anyway, I don't like normally getting into that kind of stuff.
That was weird,
I'm very brutal about these things. But I genuinely do mean it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, don't expect a man to pay for you. And men, stop paying for women. Just go do something that is for free. Because these women are going on multiple dates. It's a waste of your time. So just stop it. Absolutely just stop it. And just, again, if they don't like something that's for free, then they are establishing themselves as essentially being a prostitute. You have to pay for their time. But you know what's bad about that? You're not guaranteed to get your dick wet at the end of it. And that is a complete waste of your time when someone is literally selling you their time. Right? You might, if you're going to do that, you at least see a prostitute. You might come at the end, for goodness sake. Might catch someone as well. But the point stands. Don't see prostitutes either, by the way, guys. That's gross. But my point is, I get my point anyway. Yeah, moving on. I can't see. You've missed one. Culture.
What did I miss?
Oh, I don't know. Did I tell you? Oh no. I'm not gonna have a go at you yet.
What did I miss?
Well, we're gonna have a look and see if I even told you. I might not have even told you about it, for goodness sake. I missed it. Never mind.
I was gonna say, you said 6 things. I got 6 things.
I know, we got more.
I worked hard.
We got more, and I forgot.
All right.
Anyway, ladies and gents, next topic. Bum. There you go. That's the intro noise. The last job Amber Heard has in Hollywood. That's our next topic.
We should have just used the last one.
All right, God.
There you go.
My rendition was perfect. What are you thinking about?
What I miss?
Nothing.
No, nothing. So basically, the director is now defending the decision to not fire Amber Heard, but to scale back her role, contradicting what was said in court, contradicting what is it Kevin Tsujihara? I think it was he that was in court, wasn't it? What he said as well. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So basically, more nonsense from James Wan. So speaking to Empire magazine, he defended. So in the courtroom, we had obviously heard Warner Brothers. Heard said they didn't want her in the film, right? Pretty apparent they didn't want her in. Makes perfect sense. Should have just fired her anyway. And James Wan says it's fair that Heard said that about her character being pared down because she wasn't in my head as I was working on this movie. Actors don't necessarily know what we directors behind the scenes are thinking about, but this was always my plan. From the start, I pitched that the first film would be a romancing the stone type thing, an action, adventure, romantic comedy, while the second would be an outright buddy comedy. I wanted to do Tango and Cash. This is pure bollocks. This is him defending her being scaled down, but also like, well, who are you trying to please with this? Because the signature to have her removed was millions of signatures, right? It was millions signed that petition. So, thoughts? Because I view this as total nonsense.
Yeah, he's just making up shit to try and save some sort of face at this point. Why, I do not know, but whatever. It's just a bunch of screaming into the wind. Exactly.
Does he not know? Does he not know that this is over? Like this like train is like not, going to be back at the station?
Well, I mean,
this is a freight train that's headed towards a cliff with no bridge. So,
well, we can add to that lunacy.
Oh,
Ben Affleck's Batman probably won't appear.
What do you think? This just shows me that he has zero control over the final product at this point.
Probably not. All I'll say is that those scenes were just to have something in the bank.
He's not even in the editing room.
In case we needed to explain time continuity if we came out first. Press X to doubt everyone. What is this mess? This film is going to be as big a mess as The Flash. It absolutely is going to be
a pretty big mess.
Mate, this film has been done for years.
You know,
you don't know who's going to be in it at
Okay.
James Wan. This film's been done for years, mate.
I'm just saying that I think you know, they're not putting a baby in the microwave, but
they're putting the baby in the bathwater. Way. Dear.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be very, very bad. There's a lot of X's in the chat.
See, X the doubt, guys. Everyone doubts this. But what? Like, well, they should have just fired her. Just fucking fire her. He's trying to mitigate potential backlash from fans by going, well, you know, we just had to pare her down. Like, oh, piss off. Just should have fired her, mate. Should have fired her and owned it. More people would have been, you know, happier with the movie if you just fired her.
Let her sue you. You would have won.
Yeah, that's true. She ain't got any money. She ain't got any money at all. This is her last Hollywood job, guaranteed. Do we reckon she's going to come back?
Not for 5, 6, 7 years, probably.
She'll be doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Does everyone like the AI rendition of Amber Heard doing normal jobs? AI definitely has its uses for stuff like that. Oh dear. Right. Well, anyway. Nike Boy, Sonic or Mario games, films. Ooh, Mario.
I am going to give Mario the edge here because I actually like the 1990s film.
Yeah, I got a soft spot for that as well.
Although Sonic, I haven't seen Sonic 2 yet, but Sonic 1 was great. So the games are always pretty fun, but they're kind of repetitive after a while when it comes to Sonic. Like, at least with Mario, each game tends to try and add something new to the proceedings. Even with Mario 2 being Doki Doki Panic or whatever it was, still brought a new kind of element to the Mario games.
You've also got Mario Karts as well.
Exactly, yeah.
With expansion of it, Yoshi, everything.
But don't get me wrong, I know Sonic has its very loyal fans.
Culture.
I love the Sonic games and the film, but I have to say Mario, unfortunately. You know, for sheer volume and quality of entertainment, I have a feeling that if they do what they're going to do with all of the Nintendo properties, we're going to be knee deep in films and television shows here real soon. So, and I can't wait for Metroid.
Yeah. Yeah. D sent in $20 says, I would love to see a Nightbreed Cabal remake. I really love the book and I love the movie, and the Hellbound Heart is a good book. Hellraiser is the GOAT. What did you guys think of Nightbreed?
I actually am going to get a lot of flack for this, but I prefer the theatrical cut. The twist with the girlfriend in the Cabal version makes no sense to me. Other than that, I mean, I prefer the fact that you get more story in the Cabal version. That's the only piece that really made it, and I think that's straight out of the book too. So, but no, it's funny because I think I was talking about this like not even a month ago, where I said Nightbreed is ripe for like a streaming series.
Yeah, you're right. I think it would be a great streaming series. Man, Tom,
especially in the wake of stuff like Twilight and stuff like that, it would really fit in that kind of.
It was rumored to be a series. I had the first episode script, the pilot episode script.
Wow, I think that would be good. I think it'd be great. And Tom, you're not going to have a lot of hate from me because I'm with you. I think the theatrical cut is.
It's just that minor bit, like her choice of wanting how it all works out in the theatrical cut to me makes more sense. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't mind. I don't mind more story, but I really thought it worked out well in the theatrical cut. It also made it more crisp. I like that. But that's just me.
A little bit more succinct,
yeah.
Black Saber has been a member for 2 months, so thank you so much, my dude. Darren Hughes is using his monthly free super chat by being a member, so consider becoming a member, guys. You do get a free monthly super chat, and he's been a member for 6 months. He says, "Howdy, Mr. H, Culture, and Tom. Disaster movies are a kind of horror movie. Which are the top 3 best disaster movies?"
Oh,
what was the What was the volcano in like New York one?
Dante's
Do we
Peak or
remember?
Volcano?
What?
Yeah, I mean, Towering Inferno was the first one I ever saw.
Well, Pierce Brosnan was in
It was in,
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak,
And
yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones is in Volcano. That's the one where the volcano erupts right in the middle of a city.
Volcano LA,
I like
right?
that one.
That was Volcano LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they redirected the lava with K-rails.
Yeah.
So funny.
I'm like,
So
all right.
funny.
They used freeway K-rails.
What's the Pierce Brosnan one?
That one's called Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
I quite like the intro to that one because they're in
That
the
one's not
acidic,
too bad either. I thought both of
the
those were
acidic
fun.
water,
Yeah.
aren't they? Sulfuric acid.
I got a soft spot for Armageddon.
Yeah, okay.
Always have. Independence Day is still falls in the disaster film category because it uses all the tropes but does it so well.
Yeah, and I think that one I'd put in third place. So I think Towering Inferno.
Towering Inferno is a good one. So is the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, that was mentioned in the chat. So yeah.
What's the one with the Earth? Well, it was just, I think it was just called Earthquake, right? That TV movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Day After Tomorrow was okay. 2012 was kind of a letdown. I see people bringing that one up.
The Day After Tomorrow was not.
Noah. People say Noah. I said Day After Tomorrow. I don't really like Day After Tomorrow.
Does Mars Attack counts? Probably. It's kind of.
It's an invasion movie.
Yeah, but so is Independence Day. But the thing is Independence Day uses all the disaster movie tropes.
What was the post theatrical release of Live Die Repeat called?
Oh, The Edge of Tomorrow.
The
Edge of Tomorrow. That's a great movie.
I think that was so well done. That's a disaster film. It really is. I mean, it's obviously more than that, but that is a calamitous set of disasters continuously. It's also
I don't have I've kind of
Deep Impact was okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Wasn't it Deep Impact and then Final Impact like at the same time? Wasn't it
Armageddon
and Deep Impact came out around the same time.
Wasn't that one
what's Final Impact? I don't know that one.
No, I think you're right. I think because those were basically two identical movies that came out.
Yeah, that's the one Katzenberg took over to DreamWorks and they made Armageddon with Michael Bay.
Because Armageddon was a better.
Vice versa. He knew they were making Armageddon over at Disney with Michael Bay, so when he went over to DreamWorks, he made Deep Impact. Yeah,
but Armageddon was a better film. So.
Oh yeah, it made more money too. I think.
Yeah.
And I think it beat Deep Impact to the theaters by like 2-3 months or whatever too.
It did, yeah. It was out there. Well, I mean, Katzenberg didn't have. I mean, they were playing catch up at that point, but he kept trying to scoop Disney. He was so pissed off. Oh my god.
Well, there you go, Darren. Hopefully, we've answered that. I think kind of. We've listed off loads of stuff, so yeah, we definitely answered it. Big Al Games for £5 says thoughts on Fallout New Vegas. Personally, it's my favorite game. Period. And I feel it set the bar so high for a Fallout game. Fallout 3 is a close second. So. I never played Fallout New Vegas because I played Fallout 3 and I played Fallout 3 on an Xbox Elite, which was the sort of little, it was just a black Xbox basically, and it got the red ring of death. So I stopped playing it because obviously it died. But I really enjoyed Fallout 3. So I can't give you any opinion on Fallout Vegas, but I can say I liked Fallout 3 a lot.
Do you still have that Xbox?
No.
I could refloat that chip and get rid of the red ring, but that's fine.
Oh, that was in like 2017, 2018.
Oh, wow.
A long time ago now.
It's been a bit. Yeah. New Vegas is a great game. Personally,
no, 2008. No, sorry.
It's been a bit.
Yeah. 2008. That's when it was. A long time ago.
No, I think New Vegas is great. I really enjoy. I've enjoyed everything since then. I've really enjoyed even 4. But that's because I like to do adult Legos and just build settlements.
I played Fallout 4 on this PC actually, and it was good fun. I just didn't have the time to get stuck into it. Too much because those games take over your life after a certain while.
They do. It's like World of Warcraft or other things. I mean, there's like a list of games I can go through just each. Well, we just mentioned one a little while ago with the 5 Grand Theft Auto 5. That thing will eat your life. So will Red Dead Redemption 2. My lord, I played that for it seemed like it took me 10 to 12 days to get through the gameplay on that. I was like, good gravy. Yeah. Anyway.
Tom, you ever play Fallout New Vegas? I don't know if you're a massive gamer, Tom, to be honest.
Tom's a huge gamer. That's all he does.
Yeah, no, never played him.
Okay, all right, cool. Good chat, Tom. Good chat, mate. Daryl Brewer has been a member for 11 months. Thank you so much, my dude. Thank you. And Fletcho McTaggy sent in $5 Canadian. Says, how important is cinematic continuity canon for a franchise? Does it depend on the franchise? So I really like this question, actually. This is a very good question. I mean, we're talking about cinematography, basically, aren't we? Framing, color grading. So it's even going down to the editing perspective, I'm guessing. Color grading, probably sound design as well. And I would say, yeah, if you're dealing with a franchise, let's put it this way, right? So let's look at the original Star Wars movies, right? And then can you imagine if you had A New Hope directed by Lucas, and then the second one directed by just out of the blue, J.J. Abrams.
I was going to say Kubrick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mix matching from people from different eras just to show a stark difference, right? Yeah. And then you had the second one directed by J.J. Abrams, Kubrick as well. All these kind of people, right? It'd be awful. It'd be like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, I think cinematic continuity matters for a lot of franchises. I don't think it necessarily matters for all of them, but I think it matters for most.
Well, I mean,
like let's look at this. Like Dune is coming out, right? So the first one directed by Denis Villeneuve, the second one's going to be done by Denis Villeneuve. If for whatever reason suddenly the second one was done by Kurtzman,
would look very different.
What the fuck is going on? It'd just be awful.
Or Mr. Lens Flare, bring in Bay. Bring in Bay.
Yeah. No, I think it does matter. I think it does matter when you're trying to establish a tone, but I don't think it matters on all franchises. I think, for instance, a great long running franchise, Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
they're not all the same.
No,
they don't have to be.
Well, and they also are. You're presenting a different world that it's in the same world and in the same character, but we're in Dubai for this one most of the time, or we're in we're in Venice for whatever. So they go through like the various locations and everything else. But as far as the style, cinematic style, I think it's very important to some things and not so important in the other.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I'd use Mission Impossible as an example because I can't tell one of those from the other.
Oh, Tom.
But outside of part 2, and that's just because it's stylistically so different from the other ones. But that's the thing is, I used to be one of those who loved more continuity, and even though you had 2 different directors directing Star Wars movies, you're right, Nate, that Lucas tried to make sure there was a uniformity across the board. Star Trek always tried to have a good uniformity across the board. They didn't try to deviate too much, Sometimes things like those, it's really great when they have kind of a television kind of feel to where, you always feel like you're going back into the same world. But sometimes it's fun to get things from a little bit different perspective, a little different look, a little different design. I kind of miss, when we used to go into a sequel and kind of just interesting to see, it's a great example between Chris Walas's design of Gremlins in the first film compared to Gremlins 2, right? When they had Rick Baker come in, huge shift in the design, but it still works. But it was fun to see somebody else's take on it.
But there's something that wouldn't work. Like you could not get away with that in Star Trek.
Exactly. That was my point before, is like certain fans of certain things like Star Wars, Star Trek, stuff like that. That means more to them in the continuity realm. Yeah.
Even Predator, go from Predator 1 to Predator 2. People are like, what the hell's going on? This is completely different. And I really like Predator 2. And I really like the design of the City Hunter. But loads of people are like, no, this is awful.
I think it does depend on the franchise. I think that was a brilliant question. Thank you for that. That was great.
Yeah, that was a very, very good question, my dude. Thank you. Gary drops in with £5 and says, new Metal Gear Solid 3 remake trailer looks incredible. My favorite franchise. I've not seen it. I'm not massively into them. I've heard very, 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 very good things.
I haven't played a Metal Gear game since, well, that's not totally true. I played all the way through since PS1, but I tried to play the one on PS3 and I couldn't play it. I just couldn't.
Oh, really?
It made me seasick.
Oh, that's not good. So I used to when people were doing Metal Gear Solid, I was a Rainbow Six guy playing Tom Clancy stuff. I used to like the Tom Clancy things. So.
I thought Metal Gear was good. I think I'm interested in seeing this. I have not seen the trailer, so I'll take a look at it. Metal Gear is one of those things that it can be an awful lot of fun. But I can see where Tom's coming from, because you may have had, like, way back when, you may have had the scrolling, like the screen smoothing or whatever going on.
It's from all first person, from the start of the game, so it was like really,
yeah. So I'm thinking like that, because a lot of us didn't like adjust those settings on our televisions to unfuzzle them. Because I mean, I still have to go back anytime I have a power outage and unfuzzle whatever it does to my giant.
Well, it's strange because I normally don't get like that. I even through VR, I think there was only like 2 games that ever made me feel woozy in VR.
I think the only game that really made me woozy in VR was Skyrim. When I was playing Skyrim in on the Vive, I was like, why am I feeling icky? But I don't know. I'm gonna have to see this. I'll take a look at it, Gary. I'll try to get you an answer. But I hope they do a good job. They do a good job.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been cruising on here 2 hours 42 minutes, but your favorite podcast episode number 76 is drawn to a close. So just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, please do check out in the description box everyone's channels that would be here today, but also more specifically my second channel for this podcast. So if you tuned in halfway through, you'll find all the best clips over the next few days. They will be going there. But again, massive shout out to the panel that was here. Please do check out their channels. You've obviously enjoyed their input. You've stayed for the majority of the show, and it's been a long one. So you obviously like their input. I'd very, very much encourage you to check out their channels and hit subscribe because you like their stuff. But I will say, Culture, plug some stuff.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah, you can find me at all the places at Culture Casino. I made it very simple. So Rumble, Minds, Odyssey, Getter, YouTube, and the platform formerly known as Twitter. You can also find me hanging out often with Tom Connors on Midnight's Edge in the morning, Midnight's Edge after dark, Midnight's Edge. You can find me tonight at Comics Division. Do check out the show. It'll be brilliant. We're doing Thursday Throwdown, and fire tonight. Fire.
And Tom, my dude?
Midnight's Edge after dark in about 2 hours and so.
Yeah,
just when he finishes his meal that he's very clearly not eating.
Yeah, and then I'm jumping over to WDW Pro here.
Oh, that's right. You're going to Pro. I can't. I wish I could.
I didn't get an invite, you motherfuckers. So.
It's the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know. I'll be in bed. I'm still recovering from my master degree weekend this weekend.
Oh, wow, it's Thursday, bro. Okay.
Wow. Mate, honestly, it takes out of me. Like my Mondays and Tuesdays are a complete write off, and then you remember Tuesday night.
Yeah. You're like
podcast, and then I'm still like I'm constantly playing catch up. So yeah, pretty destroyed. Anyway, guys, please do for me main channel stuff. I've been slamming out videos, 4-5 videos per day, pretty much every single day. So yeah, we've been really cranking out the content. Thank you so much in advance for everyone checking it all out. But thank you again for everyone tuning in to the podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday and we'll be back on Thursday next week. I may be doing a stream on Sunday. I've been very lax on them because it gets to a certain point where I just need to lay down. And also I need to give my dog some company as well. It's very important to me that he's happy. So it's a fine balance. But if I can, we'll be here on Sunday doing a chill stream. Thank you all so much. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.